What's good? See, Josh confused me. I thought the commercial was coming on, and never mind. How y'all doing out there? Yeah, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Hope. This class is gonna be fire. We're gonna go to church today. We're gonna go to church. A little bit, we're gonna go to church. For everybody out there listening and those here who are under 30, church is a place where you go to like worship God. You know what I'm saying? Worship is like, when you like jocking somebody super hard, but it's for a good reason.
Can I get an amen?
No, I'm messing with you. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna dig deeper into the survival mode issues and talk about how survival plays a part, and just kind of break it into a few more pieces so we can better understand how important it is and how it affects our trajectory and the butterfly effects of our life. And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So let's start from the top. Let's get going. First slide. So the reason why the survival mode topic is so important is in terms of the fundamentals we need to progress as humans. Not if we even take entrepreneurship off the table, even though this is an entrepreneurship class, you take it off the table. Understanding how survival mode affects your life and how to navigate through and progress out of survival mode is probably in the top 3 of most important things that you have to do. So important. Nothing you learn in this class or in life or anywhere in terms of from a progressions perspective, or if you want to expand who you are or grow, will be of any benefit if you don't break the cycle of survival and understand how to navigate around the progression of survival mode. It's so important. I'd argue that anybody who's built something and who grew up, say, in the hood from any poverty type of environment and who broke out of that to build anything of significance financially, I would argue that they've spent a significant amount of time working on this right here, because this is a silent killer. It's a quiet. It's like having a Lamborghini car with a governor on it that only lets you go 60 miles an hour. And you can smash on the gas all you want, and you don't even know the governor's there. And you're going 60 miles an hour, and you can't understand it. Does anybody remember what we talked about with the subconscious mind is the purpose of the subconscious mind? Anybody know? Its role? Jordan?
From my understanding, it's designed to protect you.
Close. Protect you, which means what?
Keep you comfortable.
Keep you alive.
Keep you.
Subconscious mind mostly focuses on survival. Did you know that? Your subconscious mind is only here to keep you alive. It doesn't care about your mansion that you want, or the good job you want, or the nice car you want, or any of the extra shit. Your subconscious mind is built around your survival. So there is a mechanism inside of you that its job, its sole purpose is to keep you alive. So that is why it is an over-exaggerator inside of you. So you have a dramatic, doing too much, over-exaggerator inside of you 24 hours a day, because it don't give a shit about how cool you look, what you messing up, who's in front of you. If that beautiful man or woman that's in front of you that you want to date or attracted, it doesn't care about none of that. So if it signals that it's nervous, it's going to make you sweat and shiver and crack your voice. It doesn't care. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to protect you. So know that that's inside of you. It's going to do all the things that it believes will help you survive the moment. All the fight, flight, freeze responses. That's survival. And it doesn't have eyes. It uses repetition. So if it worked and you didn't die, it's going to add that to the algorithm of you moving forward. So that goes for things that are good for you and things that are not so good for you. As long as you don't die in that moment, it doesn't care. It does not care what the Surgeon General says or what this says or the Bible. If you repeat the thing continuously, then it starts adding that to the algorithm of you, because we survived. That's why bad habits can be embedded in who you are. Over time, it can be embedded in your rhythms. So this shit goes so deep. So even for the sake of it helping one person to see it through, I may give some personal examples that may even be embarrassing. I don't give a shit. But as long as you can see it and it can help you, then it's worth it. Because this is a big one. We could sit up here for 4 more years and give you so much game, all the game we got, and then some. We can bring in people better than us in here, more successful than us, with a bigger spectrum than us, to give you their game, and it still won't do no good if you don't work on this part. Survival shit. Next slide. So we're gonna get a little dark, right, later on, and I want to get through all these slides because it's important that I get through all of them. So I would like, maybe we can save the questions toward the end so we can get through as much as we can. So in survival mode, the more you struggle, the less you think about serving. Can anybody guess why that's a thing? Shakina.
Tapped bandwidth, not enough attention.
Tapped bandwidth, not enough attention. Good answer. Anybody else?
Just like you said earlier, like if your subconscious is only purpose is to keep you alive, then you're just gonna have this urge to like focus on yourself more than focusing on helping other people.
Good answer. And so if you come from struggle, any sort of struggle, financial struggle, mental health struggle, physical struggle, the more you struggle, meaning the more plates you got to spin in life and the more energy you have to expend to do something. Have you ever been broke as fuck and you're walking past somebody and a homeless guy says, "Hey, can you spare $1?" What do you say in that moment? I just want to. What's your facial expression in that moment? Right? You tapped out.
I need to be out here with you.
Right? It's different to not give a homeless person money or something. Oh, I don't know what you're going to do with it. you're probably going to use it to do some bad things. So you know what? Nah. Or I can go buy you some food. Let's go buy some food together. Like, no, when you in that moment, I've been there where I'm so irritated and you got the nerve to ask me for some money? Man, if you don't get out my face. Because the more you struggle, the less you think about serving others. The more you struggle, the less you think about serving others. That is why we have such a tough time in black culture to give an excellent customer service. Service. Because those of us who come from struggle, we didn't have a lot of practice having more than enough. You get what you get. Got what you got, you get what you get. So the extra of, how can I give you excellent service today? I didn't have that. I had barely enough. I struggled. So you're going to get what you get. So even if we grow past that and get into an entrepreneurship space, then with that same survival mindset, you walk into my store and I say, what's up? What you want? What I want? Because we haven't been programmed for service, because we survived. Survival means you. Service means others. You see how that can affect you as an entrepreneur? What's up? What you want? Yeah? Yeah? That is why this is so critical for you, not only as a human, but as an entrepreneur. Also, any of you who have come from those struggle backgrounds, financial, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all those things. Have you ever been super surprised? If you're a parent, have you ever been shocked that your kids is so entitled when you didn't have half the shit they have? They got a roof over their head. You got food on the table. You got this and that. And you ain't grateful. You ain't groveling at my knees, thanking me for all this stuff. That's because we come from struggle. We didn't have shit in our refrigerator. So having something in the refrigerator is big in our mind. Having a car is big in our mind. And so we get furious sometimes at our kids or our significant others because in our mind, we're trying to give them what we didn't have. But if you came from struggle, that's barely some shit anyway. You understand? It gets weirdly deep. Think about it. And our kids, if they started in a situation where they had the necessities, they don't have the perspective that you have anyway. You had an abusive parent, you had a drunk dad or alcoholic mom or whatever, and you're not that. And you're like, you don't realize how bad because what we're passing on is our struggle and our pain and our trauma. And they're like looking at you with like, I don't get it. I don't understand where you're coming from because they don't have that perspective. So what they're trying to teach us is there's more that we have to do to serve. There's more. There's more. And we may have struggled to give them the life that we didn't have. We may have struggled to do that, but there's always more. Teaching gratitude, of course, is good. Teaching appreciation is solid. But we are here to serve. And it's sometimes hard to switch into a serving mentality, into how can I serve you? When all you focused on is the struggle you came from, where you come from. You always glamorize where you come from. You're always thinking about it. You're always talking about it. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Anybody asks you to improve just a little bit, your defensiveness goes to that. Well, you ain't know where I come from, see. Can we just grow a little bit? Can we just grow? Can we just grow? How can I serve you? And so this is a real thing. Anytime we've ever been in a situation where our bandwidth has been taxed, we go inward, not outward. Do you know the funny thing about it? Is even in struggle, when you can create the time, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, even in struggle, even in brokenness, even if you ain't got shit, even if you barely make it, if you can create time to serve, your world changes for you. The world will open up. The world opens up for you, even in struggle. Next slide. So let's keep going down this rabbit hole of survival mode and triangulate it a little more, because we can go a few different ways, but we're going to stick to this one way. And hopefully it'll give us answers. And a lot of us in this class, we've done this already, this exercise, so you'll know it. But we're going to add some nuances to it to make it a little different for you. But then the rest of us, it's going to be new info for you. But it's just a new perspective. Next slide. All right. So here's basic understanding. Every single thing you do as a human is on some spectrum. Everything you do. How tall you are, your height, your weight, the color of your skin, how fast you run, how fast your metabolism is, your income, how long your marriages last, how many hours a week you work. Every single thing you do is on a spectrum. Those of you with glasses, take the motherfuckers off and see that you ain't on the spectrum. Some of y'all gotta back up hella far to see. Some of you gotta get close. Everything you do is on a spectrum. Exactly. So most of us believe, which goes back to struggle mode, that the world is kind of like us, or the world revolves around us. But in actuality, we're one slit on a complete spectrum. So one example of this is how we see light. So visible light on a complete spectrum of waves. Visible light is only 700 to 380 nanometers. Visible light. So from this complete spectrum, from radio waves, microwaves, infrared waves, light waves, ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B, X-rays and gamma rays, the only things we can see with our human eyes is that small spectrum in the middle, from 700 to 380 nanometers. Now, there's colors in all of those other sections. We just can't see them. That shit ain't fair, huh? We can't see them. We don't even know they exist. We can't even call it a name because we've never been able to see it. As humans, we can't. Interesting stuff. So if anything is outside of that visible light range, that visible light spectrum, it's unknown to us. It's a color that doesn't exist to us. Us as humans can only see the spectrum that is in that space. Why is that important? Let's keep going. Now, us and animals aren't the same. There are animals out there that can see on other spectrums that we can't. So you can go ahead and read that.
Okay. Just like humans and animals, can look at the same subject but see completely different colors based on how their eyes function on the light spectrum. Whatever mode we are in determines what we see in the world.
So if you're a different animal, we can be looking at the same thing and see completely different colors, depending on the type of animal you are. Some people have never thought about this in their whole life. They never tripped on it. And it's because of the spectrum that your eyes can see on. So you correlate that with whichever mode we're in, it determines what we see in the world. Here's another stupid example. Have you ever been in love, anybody? Been in love? Been in love, man. You've been in love. And a certain song comes on the radio and it just reminds you of the love you in, and you groove into it and you like, man, this song is beautiful. How come I ain't never heard this song before? I ain't never heard this song. I've heard this song. I have? Oh, shit. Okay, turn that up. Have you ever been broken up? Fucking miserable, heartbroken, and that same song come on? Mm-hmm. That played back then when you was in love and you like, fuck this song. Turn this shit. Same song. Because the mode you were in, you were on a different spectrum. Same exact song can feel completely different. It gives you, one song can make your heart flutter and give you goosebumps, and the same song can make you feel like somebody pouring acid down your body because you're in a different mode, depending on the mode, the spectrum that you're on. So next slide. Go ahead.
For example, we can't see ultraviolet light with our eyes, but a frog can. We don't even know what the light looks like, but a wolf does. A wolf can smell microwaves. When a bird sees a scorpion, it's glowing.
Ain't that crazy? A frog can see ultraviolet light with their eyes. We can't see it. Microwaves have a smell to a wolf. We can't, it doesn't compute to us. It has absolutely no effect to our senses because we're not on that spectrum. So there's things that glow and don't glow and go bright and glow in the dark that animals can see a whole different subset of things that are completely oblivious to our eyes. Next slide. So this is how we see this particular bird. See it flying. It's a base. We call that basic. It's a mid, right? That's a basic ass bird. It ain't nothing special. It's just a bird. It's the type of bird that you shoo away that comes to try to eat at your food or whatever. You don't pay attention to it. You walk in the lake. But next slide. But when a bird sees that same exact bird, that's what they see. Is because on their spectrum, they can see lights and colors and things that we can't even see. It doesn't even compute to us. Next slide. So the understanding is this. When you're in survival mode, and you're on that particular spectrum of survival mode, go back 2 slides. This is what you see. This is what life looks like. That's what life looks like. You say, there ain't no opportunities out here. Ain't nothing going on for me out here. Life sucks. I want to take my life, or I don't give a fuck, or I don't care. Because life looks like that in survival mode. Depending on the spectrum that you are on in life determines what you see. And that is so important for you to grasp. But next slide. There's another group of people who see life like that. One more. Who see life like that? Let's go back to the relationship shit. Have you ever been, go back to the other slide. Have you ever been like, after a breakup or some shit, and you see a happy couple walking past you? You're like, man, shut up, I'm gonna trip your ass. I can't exist. That ain't real. Because the way some people see the world, they can't even fathom that's a real thing. Next slide. So I want you to understand how poverty, survival, maintenance, growth, and scaling are all interconnected with each other. Because if you are still stuck in poverty with a poverty mindset, which is built around survival mode, then you can't get to maintenance. You can't get to maintenance because every move you make at every level, you're going to make it from a survivor's perspective. So if I see a pack of batteries for $1.29, a pack of 6 batteries for $1.29, and I see a pack of 40 batteries for $4, what will the survivor do? They're going to buy the $1.29 every time. And that one decision they're going to make every time they purchase something at the store. And it seems so small. But over a course of a year, it's thousands. Over the course of 10 years, it's tens or maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or survival mode will say, I just got just enough to buy it. Just enough to buy it. I bought it. But you expect that motherfucker to last forever without ever breaking down. And when it does, you don't got the bread because you didn't calculate that in your head. There's no maintenance calculated into your spectrum because survival modes, they don't have enough bandwidth for maintenance to fit in that. It's just survivor. So you're going to buy the car with the 100,000 miles on it because it's the cheapest. You're going to rent the spot in the worst neighborhood because it's like you're going to make all these decisions that you won't realize is affecting the big picture of your growth and how you move. And yes, you can do it when you broke. Yes, you can. Yes, you can make maintenance decisions when you broke. Because instead of buying a 2008 BMW with 100,000 miles on it, a person with the long game in mind is going to buy the Honda Civic, the brand new Honda Civic with very little maintenance costs, and they're going to stack their money. Insurance is low. Car payments low. So they ain't got your problems. Think about survival mode. It's so painful that in survival mode, the next plane smoking out of survival mode, whether it's an illusion or it's real or it's even mimicking some sort of success, you taking it. So you don't have the patience sometimes to wait it out. If you broke or if you riding a bucket and you want a Benz so bad, instead of waiting until you can buy 2 Benzes and have the bread to maintain it and grow and scale it, what you do is you'll buy the oldest motherfucking thing you can find just to have it, just so I can feel it. I can be in the seat. I mean, I've done the shit, so I ain't gonna lie, sit up here and preach to you. Just so I can be in it. Not realizing you just messed up your future for the next 5 years or whatever. 8 months go by, that car breaks down. Or it needs an oil change, and the oil change is $280. Right? So, like the second order effects of survival mode are so compounding, it's even hard to fathom. It's hard to fathom. Stayed in the Oakland Hills, right? And Oakland Hills, the part of the Oakland Hills where it's like a forest, like a jungle almost. So it's animals out there, like real ones. So I used to tell my son, hey, take the garbage out. But when it's dark in the Oakland Hills, it's dark. It's black out there. So his scary ass will run to the garbage, throw it in, and come back. And I'm like, hey, you got to put the lid down because there's animals out here. It's animals out here. And if they smell that garbage, you're going to attract them. All right. Another night goes by. Throws the trash in there, runs back, keeps the lid up. Kept doing it. So over time, so one day I look on my Ring camera, raccoons going to town on the garbage. Shit. Now here's the deal. We cleaned it up, put the lid down, closed it and everything, but they already started the pattern of coming. So they checking every night now. Every night. So one night, they happen to check at the same time that my girlfriend and my daughter is coming home. So they park, get out the car, they try to walk in the house, and they're greeted by a family of raccoons. Now that could have gone bad. Now if my daughter they would have bit my daughter, me and my son would have had some problems. But you see how just one small little thing can compound into a potential bigger problem. That's the same with survival mode. You don't think it's a big deal. I ain't got the money. I don't got this. You have to always think in terms of think past survival to maintenance, growth, and scaling. So entrepreneurs are always thinking, how can I put myself in a position what I'm doing that it maintains so I can grow? I can put more thought into growth, which in turn could put more thought into scaling the business. That's your job. At home, how can I make sure that I've put things in place that maintain so that we can continue to grow and scale? If not, you're jumping from one survival situation to another. And then you're always wondering like, damn, why am I always into some shit? Why is shit always happening? Why is drama all the time? It's because you're hopping from one survival lily pad to the next. Next slide.
When you are stuck on the frequency of survivor mode, the world and everything around it shows up with a color that only you and people like you can see.
Straight up. Like there are people who are living in a world completely different from yours, and they're standing right next to you. And they don't have the same experiences you have. Survival mode is passed down. We were raised with different cliche statements and abuse that are subtle, that we don't realize it, but it manifests itself in our lives. So how do you know that you are in survival mode? It's in the manifestation of your life. If you are barely scraping by at every level of life, your survival mode is still attaching itself to you. If there's drama all the time in your life, survival mode is attaching itself to you. If you are the most comfortable When it's drama, when you're the most calm, when the shit pops off, survival mode is still attaching itself to you. When there's chaos, and that's when you feel good, you're calm, you're comfortable, you're still attached to survival mode. And that's where the work comes in for us, where we got to go manual. Next slide.
No matter their financial status, anyone can be triggered into survivor mode if they grew up in a scarcity environment.
So it's almost like an alcoholic who stopped drinking and they recovered from alcohol. You never fully can rid yourself from it. It's in your system forever. You can manage it to a point to where you can grow and scale, but you can be triggered. You can be triggered back there. It's the key to it is recognizing that you're back in survival mode and backing yourself back out. You're going to be sometimes deathly afraid to make a purchase. That's a long game purchase. That's a big picture purchase. Man, I had to pay. This is my first year where I had to pay a chunky amount in taxes. Oh God. Bruh, I had to pay taxes of like a yearly salary for somebody. Taxes. I sat there, I couldn't do it. I called the lady. I called her. I said, listen, don't laugh at me. It was a black woman too. I was so glad. I said, I need you to walk me through this and tell me to press the submit button. And she's like, okay, we're going to do this together. Thank you. Literally, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, can you just double check this number again? She's like, nope, that's right. I'm like, all right. She's like, okay, 1, 2. I'm like, oh shit. Because my brain, my survival brain couldn't fathom it. Just can't fathom it. And you have to move yourself through these spaces to let yourself know, hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's a good thing. This is good. This is good. So this is not a holier than thou conversation. This is not also, unfortunately, this is not a mountaintop that any of us is going to ever be able to stand on. We grew up, if you grew up in any sort of scarcity or survival mode in any type, then you're going to be working on this and working with this your whole life. Just deal with it. Next slide.
The key component of a survival mindset is the idea of scarcity, which says there is only enough for a small portion of those who need it.
Okay, so here's an introduction of scarcity, right? Scarcity mindset is a tool of a survivor. Scarcity mindset is the mindset, is the key component that activates inside of you that says, oh, it's 3 of us and it's only 2 things. And I gotta have one. So I have to act fast and I gotta scramble and I gotta go hard. And I gotta get mine and I gotta get it even if it's at the sacrifice of you. That's the scarcity mindset that kicks in. You start blaming. And once you get in that spectrum, that small spectrum, anything outside that spectrum, you got to justify it. So most of your justifications are negative. Man, they ain't shit. Or look at them. Or they probably got there by doing this. Or it has to be negative to justify your small sliver of the spectrum that you see the world in or activate in. Because it comes down to scarcity. Well, they only let a couple people in. So that's some Illuminati shit. So you know what he had to do to get it. So I ain't doing that. Has to be some justification. not realizing you're in a scarcity mindset. How can you entrepreneur with a scarcity mindset? You can't. Entrepreneurship is about adding value and serving a customer and scaling and growing and figuring out ways to do it better every time, every single time. Keep going. No. It's more to that.
So your survival instinct kicks. Colors not necessarily for survival fade, and tactical strategies prevail.
So again, your subconscious mind is built for survival. It wastes nothing. It wastes nothing. There are some cultures where there are some human cultures, because there wasn't a lot of blue fruits. They don't see blue. Blue doesn't exist. Literally. So ancient South American cultures, it was not a lot of blue stuff that they needed to see for them to eat or survive, or that made them die or anything. So they just didn't need it. So there's no blue. In some African cultures, the same thing. Your subconscious doesn't waste anything. It gives you exactly everything you need. That's why some African cultures, they show them a swatch of the color blue, and they say, "What color is this?" They say gray. Same in Southern America. What color is this? Gray, because they don't know, they didn't need it. We're adaptive evolutionary animals that only have exactly what we need. So entrepreneurship is about outside of yourself, abundance. You're creating more for others. You're creating more so that you have enough for yourself and other people. So it is counterintuitive to how you was raised. It's counterintuitive. So you got to realize that and know that your natural rhythm and thought has to be fact checked. It has to be checked. It has to be scrubbed every time. Every time. I'm always naturally going for the cheapest fucking route. Hey, can we check to see if we can get it cheaper? Check. Just check. Just check. Just check one more time.
Court, you'll always be my other Jewish friend.
Josh, I'm neither of both of those. She made me forget what I was going to think. I was going to say. But yes, so, and that's just natural. That's natural. My dad had a couple businesses when I was a kid. One was a barbecue restaurant that he ran for the longest time, but he also had an antique shop. The antique shop closed down. Still had the barbecue restaurant, but he still had tons of antiques because he would go bid at these estate sales and then refurbish antique furniture and sell them for a lot more money. But when his shop closed down, we would go to the Coliseum flea market on Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays, and he would get off, sell his antique furniture. And I would be there. I was 5, 6, 7 years old, and I would be at the Coliseum flea market almost a lot of weekends. I won't say every, but a lot of weekends. So that's where hell of my childhood is at Coliseum flea market. So even my natural rhythms today, if we need some shit, furniture, a TV, okay, anything, you'll catch me in the middle of the motherfucking Coliseum flea. I had to stop doing that. I had to stop doing it. Court Smith is 9 years. You know when I stopped going to the Coliseum flea market to look for shit? Last year. A year ago. Man, I'm just keeping that shit 100. And we in the millions. I'm still at that flip. I'm taller than everybody in that motherfucker. But guess what? I'm looking. I can find that somewhere. But if you calculate the revenue in the company at my company and divide that per hour, I'm losing stupid amounts of money per hour just walking through that motherfucker. Scarcity mindset can't think that way. It thinks now. Oh, I can go find a laptop, a MacBook at the Coliseum flea market for $150. But I've lost $600 by parking and walking over there. So, and some of you can't fathom that. So it's some people still that's like, no, go get that for $150. Go
Wait.
get that. That's the best move. But it actually is not the best move. And once you understand how maintenance and math works in what you're doing, it's the dumbest thing that you can ever do. Next slide.
Wait, is it really MacBooks for 150? I just
Don't-
want to
don't-
know because
don't-
I'm
don't she be-
still within the
don't
return
she be-
window.
Yeah, don't. But you know, here's the thing. Like the one thing I do, I still go to the Coliseum flea market, not necessarily to buy something, but that's, my pops died 15 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, right? We ain't had the best relationship. So, but when I want to feel connected with him, that's where I go. You'll catch me there just walking around because I get that same kid feeling, throwing pop things on the ground and like all the little shit that I used to do. And that's where I can feel connected, but I ain't really buying shit. Because that's it's not smart. That goes into like fun or connection. You understand? So here's the darker part, right? The dark side of survival mode. We're going to say, we're not going to talk about, we're going to just give a fictitious person. Okay? So say you have this super smart kid, nerd. Kid loves math and just a good all around kid. But he grew up in survival mode, right? Around a lot of trauma, around a lot of survival. Physical survival. He saw a lot of violence and death around him. Financial survival. Barely made it, almost never had money around him. So was trained on two major fronts how to survive. Even though it's a good all around, good-hearted, genuinely hearted kid, right? So as life kicks in and survival mode gets more intense, this kid's values start to come into question as the kid starts to become more conscious. Wait a minute, like, what's going on with this God shit if we ain't got nothing to eat? Like, why do we got to go to church if we ain't got no food? Like, and why is there so much violence? And so things start to become in question. So then over time, the survival mode of I'm hungry, I'm just going to take this thing. Or I'm going to take this from this person. Just because I'm hungry. It's not a big deal. It's not my fault I'm not hungry. Like, life ain't fair. It ain't fair for me, so it ain't going to be fair for you. Give me that. Right? Over time, he starts attracting friends who have the same type of energy, survival mode energy, and they all bring their version of survival to him because they like attracts like. Right? So over time, these group of kids run around together, surviving, overtaking shit, taking shit that's not theirs because fuck it, our lives are fucked up. Right? Somebody introduces just illegal drugs. No, just sell this. It's just weed. We all smoke it, sell it. Everybody smoke it, just sell it. Ain't no big deal. All right. Money. Oh, I'm starting to get bread. Then it was, well, look, you can make a little money selling that, but you can make more selling this. Oh, I don't know about that. That's like, Yeah, but imagine you can spend 3 days selling that. You can make that in a couple hours selling this. we can get out of that survival mode. Next thing you know, you lose a little bit more of your morality and you try it. What if we cook it up? Now let's cook it up. Damn, that's crazy. But so what? We didn't invent the drug addicts. They gonna buy from somebody else anyway. You do have a point. You do have a point. Next thing you know, because you thinking about your survival, next thing you know, you're doing it. And you see a pregnant woman coming up to buy, and your morality really kicks in like, damn, like I'm fucking up this baby. But I didn't invent this shit. I didn't tell her to do it. She's gonna buy it from somebody. Next thing you know, you're doing that. So maybe your block gets a little hot because you popping is popular and all y'all getting money. Now you buying stuff. And so now somebody comes and they want to take it from you. One of your friends get jumped, robbed or something. And now we got to protect our friends because it's not right. Next thing you know, you got weapons on you. Next thing you know, altercation pop off and you see one of your friends getting into it, but getting jumped, harmed, and you got to protect your friend. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you shooting your gun at another human being. How did that happen? How did it get there? You sitting down somewhere thinking, damn, I'm a good kid. I'm actually a nerd. Mm-hmm. I actually don't even like violence. Survival mode is how you got there. Because survival mode can bend past your moral compass in so many ways that you can go down this rabbit hole. That's why a woman can be so wholesome. She can be married. They can go to church on the weekends and do all that wholesome shit and then end up hoeing with her OnlyFans. And you're like, how did that happen? How do you end up hoeing with her OnlyFans? It's because when you grew up in survival mode, there's little chips away at your morality for the sake of surviving that will bypass any integrity and morality that you have. So it happens on both sides. And next thing you know, you down the darkest rabbit hole and you went from 100 to negative 100 hella quick. That is why this part is so important. So important. Because all it takes is one glitch, one mistake, one rat, one fucked up situation, one police pull you over for a broken taillight, one any of those things. And if you lost your morality or your integrity based on surviving, then you in worse problems. And next thing you know, you go to prison and you was a nice kid and now you have to survive in prison and you come out harder than you come out the hardest person on the block and it's embedded in you and you can never go back to being that nice kid. Such a hard path to get back to. Or you got an OnlyFans and you hoeing with an OnlyFans and now the whole internet know. And now you can never go back to being wholesome again. It's not even a judgment call. I'm saying this shit can happen so fast and it's so cold. We're not even talking entrepreneurship. I don't think anybody who set out, say at Enron or any of those big firms said, I want to start off. I want to eventually end up with a crazy scandal. A police officer does not start off saying, I would argue that a lot of police officers don't start off and say, hey, I want to be a crooked cop. They start off with good intentions. I want to do my part to save the world. But survival mode kicks in with police officers too.
Really bad.
All the time. And so every stop, every situation, every altercation, every life and death situation, can nick away at the morality and integrity. And if you don't recognize it, you doing some crazy shit. Doing some crazy shit. And it's a muscle that's always ready to get activated. There's times when I hit rock bottom, I was up and I hit rock bottom. First thing my brain goes to, you know what? I can always go back there and get my money back up just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Then I'm calculating, well, times has changed. You start trying to, no, that's survival mode. That's survival mode. You find a way on your morals and with your integrity and be patient and play the long game, then you're training your brain out of survival mode. Any questions on that? Any questions?
Can I, before the question pops up, I would argue that majority of black folks, I don't know the races, based on economic suppression for 400 years, is baked into our culture. And I talk to a lot of people about how much they want to make in business, and the numbers that they state back to me, you can tell they're in survival mode. If I can just make $100 an hour, right? That's success to them, right? Or if I can just make $1 million. Anybody that runs a business know $1 million is like a blink. You blink, it's there, a blink, it's gone. But here's one thing that I want to add to kind of this is one of the ones where Corder's really hitting a decision making. This is like a decision making class. And I'm not sure if you guys really see this. When you're in survival mode, you can't play what he said earlier. You can't play the long game. That means you make impulsive decisions that have immediate reactions. A lot of business decisions are long, meaning that there's a science of delay. You got to learn the art of delay. When you make a decision, all your decisions have a delay attached to it, right? So you got to ask yourself, if I make this decision today, what's the delay time between the decision being made and the outcome? So, for example, if we want to turn around crime, if I make a decision today, it may not affect crime for 2 years. If I want to change a car design, it may not, the car for the design I came from the decision may not come up for 6 years, right? So when you're running your business, you're making a lot of decisions today that's for next year and 2 years out. But you can't see the delay rhythms when survival mode. All you can pay attention to is what immediate impulses, which means that you're sacrificing the longevity of your company for today's satisfaction. So you get the satisfaction you want, but don't realize that second order thinking says that 2 years down the road from that one decision you made today, the cost of that's going to be unbearable, or the positioning of your organization is going to be in a horrible position, or you're going to miss an opportunity to position yourself because you didn't take this longer path. So, for example, let's just say if Shabisha was being real about that laptop. She says, "Oh, you get a $150 laptop from the flea market." She's gonna get that immediate impulse of, "Yo, look at this laptop I just got from the flea market. It's hella tight." Then one day she's on a big project, and the shit crashes right in the middle of the project, and the project was worth like $50,000, $20,000, $100,000. She just lost a $100,000 contract for $150. I want y'all to understand like how she get that immediate impulse. Y'all gonna praise her because we all survivor culture, but no one's gonna think. Or let's go another one. She buys the computer for $150. You're thinking to yourself, why the fuck they get it for $150? They probably stole it. So now you're investing in crime, and that same crime one day hits your house, and they get way more than $150. So I don't think you guys can see, like, when you're talking about managing a city, managing a business, managing an organization, managing a family, Your impulse is not an indication that that's an accurate decision, but scarcity makes your impulse accurate, and that's why this shit's so cold.
Yeah, that's dope. One question here.
Yeah, this was going back to the point about the spectrum. Can you communicate across spectrums?
Absolutely. 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 Let's talk about it. Perfect segue. Next slide. Okay, some keys to break free of survival mode. And the way we break free is giving us context to cross spectrums. Okay? So let's start with the first one.
Second order thinking.
Okay, so you're going to notice a pattern. The keys to break free of survival mode, most if not all of these is taught in this class by one of us. That's the dope part about this, is that all the puzzles that you grasp from the topics in this class, if you put that puzzle together, it creates your tool to break you free from survival mode. So start with second order thinking. Second order thinking says, what is the effect of what I'm about to do? What, and then what? I buy this, and then what? My kids are the most important things to me. My sons, they're the most important things to me. However, we talked about it last week. I didn't think I was going to make it past 21. So I had me one at 20, right? I didn't think maybe I'm going to make it or live beyond this to build my wealth up a little more, to get my footing a little more. I just like, well, I need a seed. Second order thinking says, what happens after this? So this impulse happens, and we all get these impulses, and most of these impulses are based on a pain-pleasure response because we're in survival mode. So when you're in survival mode, you operate only on two spaces: pain, pleasure. Pain and pleasure, that's it. So whatever one pings you at any moment, you respond. And because you're in survival mode and you're in scarcity mode, meaning I may not have a lot of time left on this earth, I ain't got a lot of money, I may not ever see this situation again, I may not be here again, this might be a once in a lifetime situation, whatever your brain comes up with on some bullshit scarcity mode to make you react, you're gonna act. You're gonna act. Somebody disrespects you and disrespects you. Man shoots Burger King clerk because Burger King clerk got their order wrong. What kind of stupid ass shit is that? That's survival mode, that's scarcity, that's stimulus and response, pain, pleasure. So your pain, pleasure senses go up so high that you react. Second order thinking says, wait, what happens after this? What's next after this? Somebody say something slick to me. Okay, what happens after this? What's next? I do this and this happens and it goes down this path? No. No. So what are my options? Just walk away. Like, second order thinking is a powerful tool, not only in business, but in life. What second order thinking does is it gives you number 2, which is
Optionality thinking.
Optionality thinking gives you the ability to look at your best move. Second order thinking says, what happens after this? Well, the batteries is $129, $4 batteries. I get 4x more for $4. So I save some money in the interim, but it only comes with 6. So in about 6 months, I got to buy another pack versus this pack is going to last me 3 years. So What are my options? Optionality thinking says you use second order to get to the options. Now you spread out your options and you can pick one. Opens up your mind, which can open up your spectrum. See what I'm saying? The more options you have, the wider your spectrum. Ain't that dope? Mm-hmm. Next one.
Take some time.
This shit it seems so simple to take some time. But time and breath and taking a break, taking a breather is some of the most powerful tools you can use to help get through, to help break you free of survival mode. Are there some things that happened that you might not be proud of in your past that if you would have just took 5 minutes to take a break, take a breather, walk away, the situation would have been different? You ain't got to know no more shit. You ain't got to take 5 minutes to go read a new book. You just need 5 minutes to let your nervous system relax and calm down. Now you can think more clear. So breaking free of survival mode involves taking some time, take a break, take a minute. Let me take 5 minutes. Let me call you back. Hey, let me call you back. You really want to buy this thing. The salesperson got so much game, he just giving it to you. You so captivated by his presence and what he's saying and all of his priming, framing, and anchoring that he's giving you that you like, I gotta have this right now. Even if everything in you says buy it, say, I like it, I'm interested in it, but I never buy something on impulse. So give me 24 hours to think about it, and I'll get back to you. Mm-hmm. And if it's really that important, if the deal is that good, then go back and get it. But a lot of times, that's the space you need to rethink it, or to think it through, or to come back and negotiate. Next one.
Remove emotion.
Fuck your emotions.
This is probably the most important one for people like us, because we react off of emotions so many times that it inhibits our ability to see things clear. Your emotion is what compresses your spectrum. Your emotion is what compresses your spectrum. It's the difference between listening to a song when you're in love and listening to a song post-breakup. Your perception gets compressed and expanded based on your emotion. You remove emotion and you become stoic in a decision. Now you're looking at, what are my best options? That's it. That's within your spectrum. We got more.
Make the best decision.
Make the best decision. Not the one you feel. Make the best decision. The one you really want, make the best decision. And this is going to have you over time building that muscle. Building that muscle over time. That muscle that you're building is a long game muscle. It's a maintenance muscle. It's a growth muscle. It's a scaling muscle. Every hire that I've hired, I could have not hired and doubled my salary. Every employee that I've hired on to my company, I could have not hired that person. Was like, I need the bread. I could really use this. Fuck it, we can get through it. We'll figure it out. Double my salary. But why? Because you have to pull out of your emotions and say, this is the smartest decision, because adding this person is going to generate more revenue for the company exponentially, that I can in turn increase my salary later. But you got to play that long game, and knowing that it may or may not work. But what's the best decision? Next one.
Take a deep breath in the moment.
Take a deep breath in the moment. So it's similar to take some time, but in the moment, that's why they're separated. Because if you can go 0 to 100 real quick, then it means you need to take that breath. You need to take that breather. Our culture is celebrated with bullshit. If you think about all other cultures, you think about, say you think about Chinese culture, right? You think about the biases and the judgments and the pictures you have in your head about the culture of Chinese people. Whatever pictures or ideas or what comes to your mind, it is that way because the culture curates putting the best of them in front of you. The smartest, the brightest, the most successful. Those are the pictures that you see all the time. Not knowing, man, I've been to China. It's Asian cats who are more hood than y'all. Like in Oakland, where'd you get your pistols from in the street? Them. Like it's some street dudes out there in that culture. However, media shows you. So their cultures, they celebrate the best of them. You take any other culture, a lot of other cultures in the media, in the press, in books, in awards, and celebrations, they celebrate the best of them. The brightest, the most genius. You think of Germans, what comes to your mind? German engineering.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But you think about our culture, what comes to mind? All that bullshit because the media is there. Cardi B, beef between these rappers. Where's the best of us? Where's the brightest? Where's the most engineering? Where's the smartest? Where are the most successful? Because that's not what we see. So we celebrate survival. We celebrate struggle. We celebrate scarcity. So us moving out of that space, we have to be in manual mode constantly. Next one.
Practice meditation.
I threw that in because that's what worked for me. Practicing meditation separates that gap between stimulus and response, which gives you more time not to flash on nobody, gives you more time not to say slick shit, gives you more time not to slap the shit out of somebody, gives you more time. And the more you meditate, the wider that space gets. So meditation could also be even in a form of running or anything that puts your brain in a space where it's it changes frequency. See, we go in different frequencies when we're awake, when we're asleep, when we're half asleep, when we're in dream states. They call it alpha, theta, delta, beta. I forget which exact ones does what, but like we don't realize that when we're in those states, you can form better ideas. You can think about things in different manners, and it expands your spectrum. It expands your spectrum. Next one.
Practice being uncomfortable.
Man, let me tell you. Go to the gym. That's one way. But practice being uncomfortable. Because guess where? Here's why. Anything outside your spectrum will feel what? Uncomfortable. So if your spectrum is narrow as fuck, because you broke as fuck, you unhappy as fuck, you got too much drama in your life, you all of that as fuck, you're comfortable here. So the only way to expand your spectrum to put yourself in better positions to have a better life is to be uncomfortable. So you should be moving uncomfortable all the time. All the time. Always looking for ways to be uncomfortable. Because that's where you want to be eventually. And soon that uncomfortability will become comfortable. And you just expanded your spectrum. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Practicing being uncomfortable is a game changer. The gym is an easy way to start. Easy way. Because you're lifting shit that's hard for you to lift, which is uncomfortable. And you're striving to lift more. So today I can do 20 pull-ups, which Jordan's ass beat me. We got a pull-up bar at the office, so we have competitions all the time. And so I gotta let them know the OGs is still, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, baby, tell me about it. Talk about yourself.
So I 20 pull-upped on his ass. And I came back and Jordan did 27. Oh, motherfucker. 27.
He cheated. That's all it is. He cheated, baby.
He cheated. He cheated.
He didn't eat last night.
He didn't eat last night. He starved himself the whole day so he could be light. That's what happened. I'm gonna say that. But you're always striving for the next rep. If I get 20, I'm gonna go for 20. How can I get 21? And guess what? You gotta fight for that 21, right? As soon as 21 is easy, you on to 22. What you're doing is you're expanding your spectrum. Because the beautiful thing about spectrums is 360. It's 360, which means if I expanded my spectrum here, a situation that makes me feel uncomfortable over here to a similar magnitude may come, and I can handle it the same way. See what I'm saying? It's a sphere. It's not linear. Which means if I can, any situation where I can expand my uncomfortability, there's so many similar life situations that happen accordingly that you will be able to master too. So this one's huge. This was huge. I told you about the cold water shit. Cold water, because I'm like, I just want to continue finding new things that make me uncomfortable. Cold water showers. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I'm cussing loud in the shower. 30 seconds. I hate life. I'm at 2 minutes now and it feels warm. It don't feel cold. It blows my mind. Mm-hmm. That's the key. So guess what happens? I have to sit in a negotiation and it's uncomfortable. I have to sit an employee down and tell them they fucking up. Somebody that I really like. And you know what? That same pain that it feels in that cold shower, it feels the same. So guess what? I can get through it and not without a hitch in my voice. Whew, man, I'm glad. Damn, that was easier than I thought. That's how it works. Next slide. No, I'm sorry. Next.
It's like remove or drastically reduce your association with people who are in scarcity and survival mode.
Leave people alone who are on the same spectrum as you. Get away from them. Sorry, get the fuck away from them.
Come on now. That hurts.
And it don't feel good. But if you want to expand your spectrum, you want to see or operate in a spectrum bigger than yours, you got to stop being in the same space with people on your same spectrum. They're compressing you into who you are. You're the sum total of them. It's just real talk. You're the sum total of them. So this is probably not the funnest thing to do, especially if you grew up with these folks. You grew up with them. You hung around with them. So if you want to expand your spectrum, you got to let it go. You got to let them go. Now, doesn't mean forever. Doesn't mean you can come around every once in a while. It's, hey, we having a barbecue. We kicking it for a quick minute. It's cool. I'm going to come back. Yeah, I'm going to see. That's cool. But if that's your date, if those same friends are on your call list every single day, then you're stuck on that spectrum. Next one.
Develop rich feedback loops with people that are where you want to be.
This is a huge one.
It's hard as hell.
This is a huge one. So if if Nana is on, if my spectrum is 400 nanometers wide and Nana's is 7, that's meaning he literally can see things 300 nanometers that I can't even see. It's 300 nanometers worth of shit that he can see that I can't even see. So if he says, hey, it's poison right behind you. No, it's not. Bruh, it's poison right behind you. No, it's not. You just hating. You just hating. You a hater. You just don't want to see me succeed.
Sorry.
What?
I hate Josh.
Those are actually the people you want to be around. Because once you subscribe to the fact that they can see what you can't see, then I need to know, I need you to help me see this. I need you to walk me through this. Listen, I feel uncomfortable as fuck right now, so I need you to walk me through the steps because I'm blind right now. Same way I did the lady. Just walk me through it. There's a saying, there's a tale. I've did the research before I got up in this class to make sure that I wasn't bullshitting, but it's out there and it's a particular truth. I don't know how accurate, but it's a particular truth. And that is when the big ships came from Europe to the Americas, Christopher Columbus type shit came from Europe to the Americas. The natives in that area could not see the boats. They saw weird ripples in the water. They went and got the shaman. The shaman came and said, there's giant pieces of wood. That's what's causing the ripples in the water. And the moment he was able to describe the giant pieces of wood, then the other people could see it. And in their diaries, when they described their experience coming to new land, they said that we would dock our boats close to the shore, and the people will be still out there working. Wouldn't even be able to see the boats because their brain has never seen that ever before in life. He said the minute we got in the small boats to come to shore, they pulled out their weapons and started firing at us. That's literally what it's like to be on a limited spectrum and other people on bigger spectrums. And sometimes we have the nerve to fucking argue with people who are on bigger spectrums. But you won't know, you don't know. Bruh, I'm telling you my observation. I'm giving you the game. I'm giving you jewels right now. Next one. Hold on. Let me finish this. Next.
Raise your self-value, self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, self-love.
That is the highest vibration. So when you raise your value, your self-value, your self-acceptance, your self-forgiveness. So self-acceptance means it is what it is. I grew up how I grew up. I was raised by who I was raised. My pops was a dope fiend. My mom was in a cult. Whatever the fuck. It was what it was. I accept it for what it is. I'm here. I'm healthy. I'm standing. I got my life in front of me. I got my 2 legs, my 2 arms, my brain works. So wherever it is, I'm in position. I ain't no going back in past guilt. I wish this, I wish that. My mom wasn't good enough. My dad did. No. Because the minute you speak on shit like that, you stay in a small spectrum. You keep yourself stuck in survival mode. All right, you continue to be in survival mode all you want, but you starts with acceptance. Because if you can't accept it, then you can't go to the next one. That's forgiveness. You can't forgive yourself. I know I ain't got all the resources in this, and I ain't been to college. I don't have this. Whatever. But I forgive myself for whatever I don't got. Because I'm in position. I may not have more than him, but I'm cool. I'm in position. And that's how you can put yourself in position to break free from that survival mode, because you're not looking around what other people have, wishing you can have it. Jealousy is like fuel to survival mode. Comparison, fuel to survival mode. Envy, fuel to survival mode. Fuck that shit. Be happy for them. I'm happy for this person. I'm happy for them. God bless them. That's your word. Whenever you see somebody that has something you want, and you feel that little envy, jealousy, fire starting to form, stop yourself and say, God bless them. God bless them. Last one.
Practice daily.
For the rest of your life. Forever. This is not going to stop. So this is a daily practice. Sorry, it's not like a mountain we can go climb and get to the top of. We're going to be working on this every single day. As much as we read, as wise as we become, as conscious as we become, it's going to hit you sometimes and you ain't even thinking about it. I can be talking and he can hear my scarcity and survival mode kick in. He could be talking and I can hear his. Because we born in this shit. And it's not nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just the dope folks can recognize it the fastest and back up from it. That's all. All right, last.
Josh.
Yeah, what you said about blue and then the ships, it reminds me of like being a kid that, like when I was 8 years old, I didn't know what the fuck traffic lines were, or the double yellow line or the dotted line. I didn't see any of that. Or even stop signs. Like, to think about what you're saying and like realize it in like the practicality of my own life, it was just making me think that like even to this day with certain things around taxes and business structure, that's all oblivious to me.
Oh, it is so true though. This isn't a myth. It's something called the reticular activating system, RAC. What it does is it will literally block shit out for you, for your survival. There's a test, it's a gorilla test. I don't know if you ever watch it one day. It's a gorilla test. And what they do is they'll have people dancing and they want you to count certain things. Count how many times they pass the ball. And you're so focused in survival mode counting how many times they pass the ball, you don't realize a fucking gorilla walks through the whole situation, shimmies a little bit, and walks off. Because the brain will lock in on something and stay there. So that's it. I'll see y'all next week.
I've never heard forgiveness used like that. I've never heard it used. Yeah, when you said forgive yourself for what you don't have, I'd never heard it used like in a present tense like that. I've never heard it used like that.
Switch waters. I told somebody today, how do I judge characters? If you've ever been around me, you hear me say, that person or that system's trash. And I say it really fast, oh, that's trash. And people look at me like, damn, Nana, it seems like you just being judgmental. And I say, hey, I learned the game from a pimp. You never play with a pimp. You never say to a pimp, oh, he just being nice to me.
Oh.
Or he just brought me some flowers. Right? Once you play with the pimp, you can become a hoe. Let's just keep it real. That's what pimps do, right? The pimps get you to just play with me for a minute. He just saw me walking in the rain. He just wanted to give me a ride. Or like in that old movie, Mom, he taught me how to hold my liquor, right? And before you know it, you in the streets. I said, but let me explain to you how I'm judging the game. And hear me out. Because it's going to be important, because you're going to get a lot of false prophets hit your door. When somebody comes to me and tell me, yo, Nana, I'm a basketball player, you got to understand that I'm an animal that is a victim of charisma. If you drop enough charisma on me, I develop a scarcity where I start to tunnel on your charisma. This happens from activists to self-help people to public community leaders to people who's trying to sell you product, service, or even trying to get you to hire them as an employee, right? But once somebody tells me they're a basketball player, let me tell you what I do. I define a basketball player by their practice. If you tell me you're a basketball practice and I know you're a basketball player and I never see you practice, fuck what you heard. You're trash. You're lying. You might be have a press secretary moment where you're in self-deception. Now let's say you say I'm a great basketball player and you never practice. Okay, you're trash. Let's say you say I'm a great basketball player, but I watch your game. It's not that good, but you're practicing all the time. That means you got potentials. I don't believe you for now. I won't invest my money for now, but I will consider you in the future because you do have a practice. If you tell me you're a great basketball player, I'm gonna look at your practice and go, oh shit, and then I'm gonna look at your game. Many of us never go through that simple ass process when we meet people. We just look at the charisma. Some dude puts on a motherfucking Chicago Bulls outfit, put on some fresh Jordans, walk in with a swag, quote Stephen A. and some ESPN commentators, and we'll say, oh, damn, I think he's in the NBA. So when people come to me in business, oh, yeah, I do marketing. Oh, okay. Tell me about your practice. Well, I don't really practice like that. Then shut the fuck up. It's really simple, right? Are they coming to me and then their soliloquy about their roles in being a marketing person or a business person, but I see them practicing, but they still sound wet behind the ears? I go, you may be there one day. You got potentials. Or that person will start to articulate, and in their conversation, I hear their practice, or I heard about their practice, or I've seen the samples of their practice. Then I start to engage the conversation like it's real. Without that, because this is what kills me, and going back to what Court said, a lot of times when we're judging people from this space of feelings and emotions. Oh, a black man trying to do something. Oh my God, it's so good to see your brother. He dressed all nice. You saw his car out front. Did you see his bank account? His bank account said he needs help. But his word says he's going to give you help. You guys get on with this? Like, so you got to learn how to see past your emotions, what you feel in the moment. Learn to ask that specific question. So tell me about your practice. What do you mean by practice? Well, you say you're a dentist. How do you practice being a dentist? Well, I work on people all the time. Okay, cool. Well, I'll holler at you later. My teeth are on trial. You're guilty. I'm out. But if the person says, oh, yeah, well, I do this. I go to these seminars. I'm training this. I went to school just recently. I'm always going back to training first sessions. I got to train at least 4 or 5 times a year to pass all these certain type of tests. All of a sudden, then I'm sorry, I might even ask questions because, man, knowing me, I'm going to ask you less questions about what you did yesterday on somebody's teeth or what is a crown versus a molar. What I'm going to ask you is, so which one of the practices did you attend? How did that turn out for you? I want to hear your relationship to your practice, and that defines who you are, not who you say you are. In a world full of press secretaries, how do you listen to people straight up? It's not a thing. So you always ask a person who wants to use their background, their skills, their talents as leverage to do business with them, what is your fucking practice? And I advise you, if you know you're going to business with somebody, learn about that form of practice. So for example, if I was hiring basketball players, I'm going to call Court and say, Court, hey, where can I go learn about basketball, the level of practice that somebody needs to be engaged in to go to the NBA? Court will say, go here. I'm going to read everything I can. Even if just one day I watch all the YouTube videos in the world that he tells me to watch. So now I'm going to ask some questions and say, hey, are you familiar with this technique? Are you familiar with that technique? Are you familiar with this? Are you familiar with that? If I get to 7, are you familiar? And he's like, nah, but what I do is I work on, like when I go to Mosswood Park, I just do a cold blade crossover. I get some people come off the streets. As you try to formulate this fake ass practice, I understand, once again, and it might not be that you're lying to me. See, if you get into good people versus bad people, you may get offended. Now, I speak aggressively, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but I'm not offended. I know that your press secretary got you thinking you better than you really are. But once I ask you about your practice and how you engage in your practice and your commitment to your practice, because at the end of the day, most of us are nothing but practices. That's all you are. So if you want to become something different, look at your practice, which leads me to my next subject. Skip the donate. I'll get back to that. Danielle forgot to put the first subject was going to be positioning. I wanted to revisit positioning real quick because I don't think some of you guys really understood what the fuck I was saying. And positioning is so damn critical. So, ladies, y'all had children before. Imagine a mother who has a child but wants to keep her life the same. What would you call her? A bad mother. You're like, girl, you got kids now. You can't do all that. What are you telling that woman? Change your positioning, right? Let's say you want to diet, but let's go back to you have a scarcity problem. Most of y'all are overweight. Some of y'all are overweight because of scarcity. You know why you're overweight because of scarcity? Because you won't spend the extra $100, $200 for better food that will help you lose weight. See, sometimes losing weight is what you eat, not what you don't eat. But what you eat costs more. So your brain has to say, oh, I got to let that go. So then how do you position yourself to lose weight? One of the first things you got to do is financially position yourself to lose weight, which is I got to spend money to lose weight. Because scarcity eating is going to cause you to gain weight. Scarcity eating is full of calories, full of sugar, full of all those fillers, but it's going to leave you gaining weight. So if you say you want to lose weight, how do you position yourself? Let's talk about some positioning on just losing weight. Well, you're not going to buy certain things from the supermarket anymore. That's a bad position, right? You don't go to certain kind of restaurants no more or certain type of events because it's going to be nothing but cake and candy. I'm good. You're not going to drink. You don't hang with your friends who go drinking every weekend anymore. I got to reposition myself from that, right? I got to reposition my relationship to food. I can no longer see food as my only source of pleasure, meaning that I got to have cake just to give myself pleasure. You see how this repositioning has to happen, right? You might say, well, no, I want to work out, but I want to keep my life exactly the way it is. In order for you to be consistent, because working out means if you work out really hard for 3 weeks and then don't work out for the next 2 weeks, all you're doing is practicing S&M. That's all the fuck you're doing. Because you're not getting no benefits from that shit. And matter of fact, over time, you may burn yourself out. Because ultimately, if you start and stop and start and stop, all you're doing is experiencing pain for pain's sake. Mm-hmm. In order for you to get what you want, it has to be consistent. Consistency is even more important than intensity. Mm-hmm. So let's say you go to the gym and one day you don't feel good, but you show up. Let's say you go to the gym the next day and you worked too late the night before, but you showed up and you did your workout. It wasn't as strong as you usually do. Maybe, of course, they're doing 20 pull-ups and you got past 2. But the next day you get some sleep and you may get 10, right? The consistency is what's going to reward you with the end results. So if the consistency matters more than the intensity, if your life is not properly positioned, how you properly position yourself for workout? Do you say no to shit that ain't got nothing to do with shit? Do you know how to prioritize your workout like a doctor's appointment? For example, if you're working at a job right now and I say, hey, can I meet you on Thursday? Oh, I got a doctor's appointment. You see how quick that is? But let's say that's your workout time. Hey, can I meet you on Thursday? Oh, yeah. And you keep moving your workout to the point that your inconsistency starts to happen. You keep saying yeah to everybody because you didn't put yourself first. That's positioning, right? No, I want to run my own business. I want to blow my own company up. But you got the most comfortable motherfucking life I've ever seen. You just a motherfucking comfortable logo. You eat comfortable, you sleep comfortable. You got a mate that won't fuck with you because you need to be comfortable. You almost whoop your kids because they can make you uncomfortable some days, right? Everything about you is comfortable, and you spend a lot of money for that comfort. You got $100,000 to $150,000 a year lifestyle because you got to be comfortable. But yet you want to be an entrepreneur, which is a path of you're going to have to shave off everything that's not necessary, normalize discomfort as a necessary part of growth, and engage it with a certain aggressive undertone. But guess what you can't do? You can't do that. You know why? Because you haven't repositioned yourself out of your comfortable rhythms. You haven't learned to say no to shit that don't matter. You haven't learned to say, I'm not going to that festival, that event, that party, that goddamn baby shower, that goddamn pre-marriage party, that goddamn he got a new job party, that goddamn he cut his hair party. What the fuck is this? But instead, you try to satisfy every angle of showing up to everything, being part of everything, doing everything, and wonder why your life is nothing. And here's the thing, you go to work every day scared as fuck if they're gonna fire you, because guess what? Now when things are good, you're thinking, shit, I got this cool job, money's good, fuck everybody, fuck that shit now they're talking about, oh, he don't know me. But when they talk about them doing them little cuts and shit, and you realize you ain't practiced in 10 years, you ain't grew no skills, no development, your title at your job doesn't really mean shit in the real world. If you have a marketing job in corporate America, that doesn't mean shit to me. Because you don't understand the marketing ecosystem. You understand this little slither of marketing. And I hire you and say, hey, I need you to manage this half of marketing. I just hired a newbie off the streets. I got a degree in it. We don't even use that shit in the real world. Get the fuck out of here. Right? You're so comfortable that when it comes time to run your business, you didn't position your life. You didn't cut your rent. Your rent is like $4, $5, $6, $7,000 a month. You got every membership to every motherfucking thing known to man. Your memberships alone is about $1,000 a month. You get your hair, nose, men. I'm talking to men. Fuck that. You get your hair, your skin. You get manicures, getting your earrings re-pierced. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's how these cats now. Goddamn, bro. Y'all don't position yourself so motherfucking. You're not prepared for this game. Then you come to me and go, no, how can I get in this game? I don't know what to tell your soft ass. Position your life. Get ready for this shit. You hella sensitive, give you feedback, you get hella mad. By the way, there was this one company that came to us 2 years ago. We branded them. They was making cakes and shit. I ain't gonna say nothing else besides that. Talking to the entrepreneur, right? And he's a gay male. So I'm trying to give him some game on how to blow his company up, right? Because he has some smart ideas. So as I'm trying to give him some idea, he throws up the gay shield. Can't talk to me about this, I'm gay. So okay, fuck it then. So now I try to talk to him about it from a business side. I'm trying to get every angle I can. I got this. Attitude, defense. I'm the defense master. I'm first Bruce Lee in me.
Fatality.
2 years later, door shut. You know why? I go to his business one. They try to support him. Because once again, cat was a good cat. I don't give a fuck about all them defenses. Defenses is in his head. I don't give a fuck about them. They ain't my defense. Go to the spot. His employees move defensively. During COVID, he went defense on steroids. Got an iron gate. Slide your money through the gate. Person gets your ding. Open the gate up. Reach your arm around the gate like the gate's gonna block him. Here you go. Here's your shit. Then I'll come inside one day before COVID. Window display cool. Go where the pastries are. It didn't look entertaining at all. Like I was in the hood going to buy a cupcake. No feedback system. Because you know what? Can't let y'all talk to me like that because I'm a black gay male trying to defend myself out in this motherfucking world. Okay, well, you did. They're in the game. Like, this shit is so cold. Positioning. How you position your society. Okay, so now you want to run your business. I'm sure you won't keep on this position thing. So you want to grow your business, right? You realize that what's going to spark a lot of that growth is relationships. But you know what? You've been that person walking around all this time telling me, I don't need nobody. Fuck all these people. I don't give a shit about nobody. I'm going to do for myself. It's all about me. It's me. All eyes on me. And guess what? That's the only motherfucker going to give you a loan is you. And you ain't got no money. See, the real world works like this. If Yapasuda hollers at me and I got a position open and Yapasuda wants to come in and take that job position or be a vendor to me, and Yapasuda can do the work by 80%, I'm going to overlook the 100% for him because we have a relationship. That's just how it works. That's how the real world works. Every human being's hire the people they're most comfortable with, right? But in the end, you ain't built that relationship. Fucking struggling. Positioning. Your credit. I think it's over black folks, I think we have some of the worst credit of all us and I think Latinos right behind us. I think we're in the 600s on average. So this whole time, I gotta have that Louis Vuitton. How how the fuck do black people be buying Louis Vuitton? That should be fucking my brain up. Now, if I'm talking to like .com owners right now, I won't have this conversation. But most of us black folks, come on, man. My donations for this whole program is pretty low. I ain't came home and be like, God damn, these motherfuckers donated $10,000 today. But say you buy Louis Vuitton. You bought that car you can afford. You got that girl that you should, goddamn well, she's trash. You out there tricking. You girl talking about, we gotta go to this restaurant. Did you really go to a restaurant because a woman told you to go to a restaurant and you wasn't man enough to tell her, nah, fuck that, I'm making sandwiches at the house. You coming by or not? Oh, y'all think I'm bullshitting. Y'all really don't know Nana. If Nana decides I'm not with that shit, because first of all, I ain't gonna get to that because I'm gonna get, look here, y'all gonna make me change my clothes. Anyway, point is this.
You know the rules of the game.
Look here. But anyway, I'll lay the foundation down, right?
You know the rules of the game.
You understand me? So, but y'all here tricking. Spending unnecessary funds. You're out here, and even if you're not tricking for like a sexual relationship, you tricking for status. You buying shit just for motherfuckers to accept you, even though you never accepted yourself. Ain't that some cold shit? Now your credit fucked up. Cause you've been a trick for so goddamn long. And now you wonder why you can't have what you want to get because you poorly position yourself to receive what you receive. Some of y'all decide you're going to be whatever, call the title what the fuck it is. But on Saturday nights, you ain't missed a motherfucking NBA game since NBA started. And when the season's off, you in whatever sport you can come up with. You're at every club, every party. And one thing you didn't realize that when you are at home studying, you are positioning yourself to win the next competition of growing your business. But instead, you tricking the time off of the particular field you're in. Then you have the nerves to use your smart ass mouth to be arguing and being pissed off and sensitive because you didn't position yourself correctly that you want to blame other motherfuckers while you're not performing. I want y'all to see how this shit can keep going and it never really ever stops. You put all your money in one bank. You made $1 million. That bank crashes. The government tells you, I got $250 for you. You didn't position your finances right? You got all your money sitting in a checking account. Right now, motherfucking United States is giving away 5% interest. You got $50,000 per cent account for how long? And you tricking away your money by letting it sit there and deteriorate because of inflation? I want you to see how you could poor positioning, everything in your life. If you want to be a parent, I'm building this business so my kids can have something. Your kid just want a fucking hug, partner. You get 20 years in the game, you done built this business, your child's on crack. Because you didn't spend no fucking time with them. Are they out there being a hoe on OnlyFans because you didn't spend no time with them? Positioning. This whole motherfucking game in business, every day I'm reevaluating the position of my company, position I have to the company, position of people within the company. If you're not always thinking about positioning, you're not thinking about strategy in business. If you poorly position something, if something's poorly positioned and you're still getting by, you're burning too many resources. It's that simple. If you have a high burn rate, whether it's your time, attention, money, and let me add another one, energy. If you have a high burn rate of any four of those, you're poorly positioned. So as a business, what the first thing you want to do is reposition yourself. You guys starting to see how important is positioning? How positioning is at the core of strategy. You don't talk strategy without positioning. How the fuck you go to war and don't think about the terrain and how you position against the enemy? The first thing you'll think about is based on our positioning against the enemy, it changes the strategy. How are you positioning your personal, what decisions are you making today that preps 10 years from now? Not, this got a scarcity space, a positioning for tomorrow. How do you position for the next 10 years? And you should be thinking about that today. You don't get into the next 10 years from now and then learn to join the complaining group of that particular group that didn't position himself, and now you sound like some old cackling ass hens, men or women. Because that's what you motherfuckers sound. I need my inner peace, and sometimes I feel like I feel like people are not seeing me. I need people to see me and hear me and understand where I'm coming from, because my energy needs to be in a line. Just get your cackling ass, underpositioned ass out my face. When Mama said, let me keep it simple, because you heard positioning when you was a youngster. When you went to elementary, they said go to college, and we're not saying this is not complete, but this was an example of positioning. Go to college, get a certain degree, not because the world owes you something or you're entitled to something, so you position to have the best chance to win something. That shit never stops, y'all. You're in a positioning game for your whole life. So what you do so for example, if you want to position yourself to age and be as healthy as possible, in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, you're working out. 20s, 30s, and 40s, you're working out. So your 50s come along. I'm 57. I can do 10 comfortable pull-ups flawlessly, legs held up front of me. I can do 15 bar dips comfortably. I'm not talking about this is stress. I'm in my comfort zone, and I'm talking about full bar dips. Most men of my age don't do no bar dips and pull-ups. I'm bench pressing 315 10 times. I can squat 315 about 6 or 7 times. I can deadlift to 315 about 8 times. I run twice a week. I climb hills on bikes. I ride about 30 to 60 miles every week, right? I'm 57. I don't have no fucking ailments. My knees are fucking great. But they're not there because I'm special. Ain't nothing. I am not, a matter of fact, I'm less than half the people in this room probably. But I positioned myself at the age of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Also, too, I saw a partner of mine from high school today. That motherfucker had more wrinkles in his skin than motherfucking Methuselah. He said, yeah, we're the same age. I said, God damn, son. Right? But you know what I know? But you know what I saw when I saw him? Alcohol. You ever see somebody drinks a lot? You position yourself to look hella old. You about to, hey, you calling, I'm just getting my little sip on, you know me, I don't give a fuck. Now you 50, nobody gives a fuck either. I'm trying to give y'all some game to see how this shit really works. Like, all this shit is about positioning. Every move you make is about position. You're not gonna be here forever, so how do you position for the next generation? What the fuck is that? If it's all about me, it's all about me, that means you had no position. Now you want to get older and act like you wise. You should have shut your ass up. I know the fuck you are. I saw you. I'm 57. I know the fuck you are. You didn't do shit for nobody. Now you want to talk to people like you, some Methuselah and shit. Listen here, youngster. Shut the fuck up. And you wonder why the youngster doesn't listen to you. Because the youngster doesn't really understand what the fuck I'm saying, but they can feel it. They're like, dude, you just selling dope to my mama. How the fuck you gonna teach me wisdom? You get where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. Like, if you understand, the reason why folks are not, that first slide, go back to that first slide real quick. That first slide, then I'm gonna jump into my stuff. All the way to the first slide. That shit was so much fire. And I don't mean to like jump in it. This shit was just so good. Go next slide. Next slide. The more you struggle, the less you think about serving. What if you add to that phrase, serving yourself? Serving yourself. Some of y'all are suffering because you're struggling so much you don't even see yourself no more. Some of y'all use helping others as a recipe because you can't serve yourself. You helping every time a crisis happens, somehow you at all the hospitals. Yeah, I just came in and checked on your mama. She good? Okay, all right. Well, if she needs something, I cook some food for you. All right? Okay, good. All right. Your child ain't passed the 3rd grade yet. Keep the shit real. All right, let's roll. Let's get to my slides. The shit was fire. And I couldn't, like, I didn't want to just get up here and act like that's a bump in your thinking. Like, he was literally giving you survival destroys positioning. In your survival mode, you can't see positioning at all. You're really moving in this place of, all I'm trying to do is create a good feeling impulse today and then somehow rinse and repeat and keep that going. Is that possible, Nana? Competition tells you, fuck no, it's not possible. I don't give a fuck how great your business is today. Competition is telling you tomorrow I'm about to fuck some shit up. You're going to be weak. You're going to be if you keep the same strategy you have today, 10 years from now, you're guaranteed to be trash. Because competition is raising the bar every fucking day. So today, how are you positioned to compete with competition 10 years from now? Are you thinking about that? Or are you just moving with the rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat? And then start blaming, racism and the white men and, men, black men, they don't support black women the way they used to be. And, these kids just ain't shit. And the police out here, they don't care about nobody. And the air ain't clean, global warming and shit. The fucking birds are all over the place and shit. They shit on my car the other day. I can't think straight. You're blaming ass. Anyway, ready to get into some positive shit? Let's do this. It's my moment. Go ahead.
Most people go through life assuming that they're right. And that people who don't see things their way are wrong. We mistake how we want the world to be with how it actually is.
Okay, real quick, before just pause here a second. Can y'all see the ego in that? How do you, by yourself, fucking know what's right? There's 8 billion people on this earth. Stay with me. 8 billion people on this earth. But you, that's going to die in a little while, know the answer for everything. If you just get real about life alone, you will realize that's your brain playing tricks on you. You know what the world should be? Stop. Replace the word should with could. Well, you know what the world could be? Go ahead.
The subject doesn't matter. We're right about politics, other people, our memories, you name it. We mistake how we want the world to work for how it does work.
So when you move into a higher level of strategy thinking, this is how we know you're not a strategical thinker. If you start to speak like this, if somebody asks you a question that would lead you to give an answer, how should the world work? If you give an answer, we already know that you're not a strategical thinker. You know what your response should be? I don't know. If I ask you, how should Jasadi move through his life? Fuck if I know, how would I know? Not saying you can't discover it and you can go create a process to figure out what that is. But if I ask you and you have an answer, your ego is in control. If I say to you, who do you think would be a better politician? Obama, Biden, or Trump? You'd be like, I don't fucking know. There's so many variables in that decision. If you say, well, Obama, because you're black and you figure he did a really good job while he was here and I like the way he showed up, maybe he might not be the right person for the right time. Maybe the best president is the wrong person for the right time. There's so many interconnections of things, I don't know. However, this is how I would approach it. This is how I can think about it. Don't let the barbershop talk make you think that that's strategy. That's just what it is. It's playful jousting, right? But when you get to the business world, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. And when you're in a room with somebody who's giving you information, hear it. And add it to the, okay. You're sitting in a room with me. So it's me, Court, Society, Silence, Shakina, we're all in a room. Silence says to me, Nana, this is a good business strategy, right? He gets 0 rejection from me. I go, give me more. Because I want to make sure I own what he's saying. I want to hear context. I don't want to hear content, I want to hear context, right? When he finished describing it, I don't go, that's wrong. I go, anyone has anything else to add? Because here's the thing. A solution is usually, most problems are intersection of multiple problems, of causations. Intersection of multiple causations. Intersection of multiple causations. That's what most problems are. To focus on one of the causations is to understate the problem. Mm-hmm. You with me so far? So if I'm trying to solve a problem, if he gives me one of the causations, if we overfocus on one causation, we no longer are able to solve the problem because for the man with a hammer, everything's a nail. So the reason I need Shakina to chime in, the reason I need Court to chime in, the reason I need Josiah to chime in, because I need to start to build a picture, a model. The key word is a model to solve the problem. You don't solve problems from a single space. You can't get to what I just said if you're into the right versus wrong place. Because right versus wrong makes you more binary. Right, wrong, right, wrong. Optionality out the window. Right, wrong. Good, bad. Also, most of the time when you argue wrong, you're arguing the word should be, right? If I say, kidding you wrong because it should be like this, or you should say it like this. At the heart of the word should is what? My history. Meaning that every time I'm right, I'm stopping my personal growth because all I'm trying to do is protect what I know, not learn what I don't know. You get on with this? So when I'm defending right versus wrong, all I'm doing is solidifying, insulating my limited thinking. In order for me to get to another level of thought, I have to get past my comfort zone, which is some things I may think is wrong. You see that? So if you argue, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, all you're trying to do is solidify or protect what you know, which means you're not letting anything new in. Mm-hmm. Is that some cold shit? Mm-hmm. This right versus wrong is literally freezing your thinking. Then you turn around when we're not arguing and go, how can I learn more? Oh my God. Shut the fuck up. That's the art. The art of shut the fuck up is the pathway to learning new shit. A lot of times, okay, here's a cool thing about if you're infected by right versus wrong. Hear the other opinion, shut the fuck up, go home and let your brain do what it's going to do. Process it. And you go, well, that's possible. That's possible. And you know what a right versus wrong brain's going to do? You know what? That's what I thought too. Now that I think about it, I would have saw it that way too. Shit's funny as fuck. Keep going. The subject doesn't. Shabisha, the subject doesn't.
Sorry. You finished it.
No, I didn't finish it. It doesn't matter. We were right about. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Next slide.
Okay. Of course, we can't be right about everything all the time.
Oh, can I rephrase that? Well, of course, we can't be right, especially in new adventures, about everything a lot of the times. Matter of fact, most of the times. If you're doing a rinse and repeat, meaning that, hey, I always cook my sandwich. I always cook my breakfast the same way every morning. I make my eggs. I make the bacon to go with it. Same way every morning. Okay, you're right. If I come in and be like, yo, I know how you make your eggs. You go, hey, that's how I make my eggs. You're right about that. But if I say to you, hey, I want you to go in this kitchen and figure out how to cook for 100 people, and you had never done it before, guess what you're probably not going to be? Mm-hmm. You're going to be right. But some of y'all will go in that kitchen, and your ego's going to kick in and be like, man, fuck if I know what I'm doing or not. You ain't going to tell me what to do. Or this is what I think it is. And then you try to get humble when the shit fails. That's what should be killing me. Like, yeah, I guess I did make a mistake. Where was that humility before you made the mistake? But keep going.
Everyone makes mistakes or misremembers some things. Mm-hmm. But we still want to feel right all the time.
Like the key word is you want to feel right. This is important. You're always fighting the feeling to want to feel right over actually the ability to be right. Mm-hmm. I want you to understand. So you want to feel right so bad that your press secretary is being called in to convince you that you're right. And it's going to feel right to the point that the person who's telling you you're not right is offending you now. But it's because there's a part of your brain saying, no, this feeling feels so good, we got to be right. Because you tied your right to your personal value. And if I'm not right, then I'm not valuable. If I'm right, I'm valuable. This is really what you're doing. Your brain is literally interchanging value with right, value and right, value and right. So when you think you're wrong time and time again, you start saying, am I valuable? See where I'm going with this? Keep going.
And ideally, get other people to reinforce that feeling.
So you call your friends up. This is where gossip comes in. Girl, none of them gonna call me, tell me my business ain't right. You know, last week I saw Nana riding a bike. That motherfucker failed. Who the fuck he gonna tell somebody he can't what is right? You'll find some irrelevant shit. You'll find whatever flaw you need to find about me to justify that I'm wrong, even though it has no connection to the same idea. But in the end, it's about what do you feel more than the outcome of what you're trying to achieve. Keep going.
Hence, we channel inordinate amounts of energy to proving to others or ourselves that we're right.
You walk around the kitchen just talking to yourself. And you know the fucking idea. I mean, out there last week I was just doing this shit. You know, this supposed to. Well, you talking to yourself? No, I'm just, I got some shit on my mind. Don't worry about it. I mean, the food will be ready in a minute because this motherfucker got me fucked up. He don't think you just over there just trying to convince. You just trying to hypnotize yourself. I know I'm right. I don't give a fuck if the shit don't make no sense. I don't give a fuck if I don't never make no motherfucking money. At least I did it. Go ahead.
When this happens, I'm sorry. When this happens,
You know, you go up in a black household, this shit happens all the time. So I've been in the household as a little shorty and watched my mother cussing her people out. They ain't even in the house, and she just had a full out conversation. And I started going, "What the fuck is she talking about?" And yeah, this motherfucker gonna tell me he don't fucking doing shit. I raise these motherfucking badass kids. You raise these badass, and you don't want to hear no advice? Okay, go ahead.
when this happens, we're less concerned with outcomes and more concerned with protecting our egos.
Okay, this game you playing is an outcome-based game. You need to win, you need to sell, you need to eat. Outcomes. You need to stay in this game. You need to put your kids to college. Outcomes. You need a house to live in. Outcome. And all of a sudden, because you want to be right, you're willing to sacrifice everything I just mentioned in the name of being right. So I know some men right now, when it's time to pay child support, they're trying to tell me why they were right. And I'm like, did you make a payment though? Nah, my man, but the way she came to me last week, she got me fucked up. You don't get me, I be doing all kind of shit with my girl. Did you make the motherfucking payment, pimpin'? Oh man, look here, man. Look here, I'm gonna put the shit together, man. But man, she's gonna come at me right, man. Man, would you shut your bitch ass up and make the payment? By the way, if you're around me and you're a man, I don't take kindly to soft ass men. If you come out and that's who you are, your brand is, then I will accept you for who you are. But don't say you're a man and then having soft ass opinions, because I'm gonna call you a soft ass man. Anybody be around me, I'd be like, what kind of bitch shit you just said to me? I don't invest in soft male behavior. So for you gender sensitive people to just cancel me, just cut the screen off, cancel me, because I don't fuck with y'all anyway. Okay, go ahead, next one.
Okay. If you find yourself expending tremendous energy on how you are seen.
Wait, real quick. How the fuck do broke people be worried about getting canceled? you ever heard a broke person be like, yeah, I can get canceled? I'd be like, you've been canceled. You've been canceled. Make America canceled you a long time ago. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry again. I just never seen. I fucks with Boosie, Lil Boosie. I love him because he's like, yo, how you gonna cancel me? I'm a hood dude. What the fuck? Hood people don't cancel people like that. You need to be fucking with you don't. And when you get canceled, hood people, you betray us, right? Like you sell us out or you turn white on us, something like that. Then we be like, man, I'm good with you. But like, you didn't say the right term or you didn't use the right phrase. We don't talk like that in the hood. And some of y'all are so poor, ain't nobody listening to you anyway. How the fuck you worry about being canceled? Yeah, they might cancel me. Oh my God, I broke motherfuckers and canceled. Anyway, that just makes no sense. All right, go ahead.
If you find yourself expending tremendous energy on how you are seen, if you often feel your pride being wounded, if you find yourself reading an article or two on a subject and thinking you are an expert, if you always try to prove you're right and have difficulty admitting mistakes, if you have a hard time saying, I don't know, or if you're frequently envious of others or feel as though you're never given the recognition you deserve, be on guard. Your ego is in charge.
Church.
I want y'all to pause for a second. Y'all know this profile online, right? Y'all know this profile. These people are online everywhere. These people are in the workforce now. These people are causing disruption everywhere they go. Hopefully it's not you. You ever been around somebody goes, Yeah. Let's say you never heard of Colorado before, and you say, yeah. And you don't know if Colorado is a state or city. You be like, yeah, like my friend told me this joke about that Colorado was a state and shit, and I was like, man, that's not the truth, right? And let's just say, and you know what Colorado is, right? And the first thing you'd be like, yeah. No, you know what the fuck I just did. You don't know what the fuck it is. That's your ego. You ever heard of this before? Oh, this dude, Mike Johnson. You remember Mike Johnson? Yeah, I think I remember who he is. No, the fuck you don't. That's your ego. You know, there's a practice to get an MBA. You understand how like the practices work. Yeah, you understand how it works. No, you don't. So guess what you don't have the ability to do? To navigate your own life because your ego continues to prevent you from engaging people correctly. You're literally going around faking the funk to protect your ego. And the cold part is you've exercised it so much at the point you don't even feel it no more. Maybe the first time you did, you feel like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But you have a hard time saying, so me and Mashama were doing an interview with colleges, and they asked us to have a discussion with a vice president of a college about, from an outside perspective, what is the future of education and how should colleges think about that? And there were certain things we were able to articulate, but one thing that I thought was so fucking amazing, they asked Mashama two questions that were really big questions. And Mashama's first response was, actually, I don't know. However, here's how I would approach thinking about it, right? But we never said, we know, this is what you should do, this is how you should move it, this is what's wrong with the world, this is what this should happen. We just said, we don't know. And when I got off the podcast from Shama, I was like, yo, that was impressive, boy. Because he never let his ego dominate him to say, yeah, I know what to do. Because think about this, all spotlights on you, pins drop, Shabisha, what should we do? And your first thing you'd be like, yo, your value on trial, baby. Say something but this motherfucker, sing or something. Shit, tell a joke. Knock, who's there? Come on, baby, let's go. And you start to just, you know what I was thinking. And, as you look at the scientific angle and perspective, and you start using all the words you could think of to get to a point that kind of confused my thinking. And then it's kind of close with a conclusion that just says, work harder. Yeah, see, that's because that's what I know. You don't know nothing. Why is that important? Because when it's time for you to duplicate it, you can't. But you think you can because you've been lying to people for so damn long, giving these fucked up ass answers that your ego's got you convinced now you're qualified to actually do the job yourself. You're not. You're not. One thing in business, you got to work on keeping yourself grounded like a motherfucker. Grounded. It is so easy to get caught up in your stories you done told yourself. Social justice is all this trash. That's why I hate social justice. Oh, I'm right and they're wrong. People say, Trump was a horrible president. I'm thinking, yeah, because he's trying to stop a horrible system. So horrible begets horrible. Like, social justice is really or transfer of power, not a conversation for diversity. I'm 100% down with diversity. I don't think nobody owns that fucking phrase yet. And the reason no one's able to ever ask the question, what the fuck is diversity, by the way? How does that look in the wild? How does that survive? How do we make diversity work? Now, we ask that about democracy all day long. We never ask a question about diversity. How does that work? Human beings have never really been diverse like that. How are we going to make this work? How do we test it? When do we pull the gauge forward or push it forward or pull it backwards? How do you protect merit, or how do you keep competition alive, or how do you hire based upon talents and skills in a diverse system? How do you protect? Why is it that the output to create diversity is not? So if we have a conversation about diversity in college, that means we should be having a conversation K through 12. Is K through 12 producing the qualification for the diversity? Or do you have a whole bunch of kids that's undertrained and then say that these kids who are undertrained should have access to this university? right? All these type of conversations, diversity is a very complex system that's have all these interconnections, but yet the shit you see on the internet is really egotistical arguments. This is why most of the people fighting for Palestine and Israel is not really fighting for Palestine and Israel. They're fighting for their ego. And once again, I don't have opinion on Palestine and Israel. It's above my pay grade because once the thing is, if you're not, there's too much context I can't have access to. So content and the sources that give me the information, I can't trust those sources. And I don't understand all the complex history that goes into that, because if you can't see the weeds and all the details, stop it. Stop it. Don't stop your opinion. If you really want to know the details, there's this thing called a motherfucking plane or a motherfucking boat. Get on one of them two motherfuckers, go over there, learn some motherfucking context, and then come back here and have a conversation. But if you sit in college in a warm ass dorm and going, your ego's in the conversation. Next slide. Hey, I'm about to get canceled tonight. I don't give a fuck. I'm working on this shit. Come on, turn it up. If y'all want to cancel me, get some thumbs down on this motherfucking podcast. On the social media, you subscribe, it's thumbs up, thumbs down. If you cancel me, hit a thumbs down, then turn me off. Go ahead.
The social default.
Now this is when we switch the subject. So we finished the right versus wrong. We're going to another. Now, mind you, all these subjects we've been talking about, I've been talking about this whole year, is based upon your human instinct. Right versus wrong is trapped in your human instinct. Meaning that if I left you alone and you didn't take any class, by default, you're going to always have the feeling of wanting to feel right over be right. That's a dominant feeling. That means it's natural for you to always want to feel right. You're going to have to fight that to play this game. My wife said something that was really cool the other day. She says, babe, because I'm working with her on scaling. She's learning scaling from work and me. So she's going to work. She's learning because she's trying to be a CFO. So CFO is the closest thing to being an entrepreneur in the workforce. And she comes home and we have conversations about some of her challenges. And a lot of times, me and her manager are just saying the same. We're echoing the same big principles, right? And she said, babe, scaling is not rational. And if somebody doesn't tell you how to do it, you can't see it. It's impossible to see it. It's a different spectrum of sight. We're going back to McCourt's previous class. Scaling is a different spectrum. So in that spectrum, a lot of your natural behavior doesn't translate. If you're just like, I'm gonna be organically me, I'm just gonna be me, be true to myself, right? Try to be true to yourself and play golf. You're gonna realize there's nothing organic about swinging that goddamn stick and hitting a little, and even the way you have to hold and twist and all that. Anyway, you don't do that shit in the rest of your life. You walk around like, hey y'all, how you doing? I don't do that shit. And twist the hand and the way you position, but all that shit's necessary for you to be successful playing that little simple ass game. Right? And so just how you have to challenge your natural evolution to play golf, to be an entrepreneur, you got to challenge your natural responses. Your organic natural responses will betray you. So you might say, well, everybody does it. You're goddamn right. That's why everybody can scale. Scaling is really you learning to push back against some of your natural impulses. And wanting to feel right is a natural ass impulse. And you got to learn to get faster. And when you first start, you're going to catch yourself the next day. Shit. I was trying to be right. God damn it. And you keep practicing. Next year, you catch yourself the same day. 5 years from now, you catch yourself before you open your fucking mouth. You're like, I'm just about to be right. That's all I'm about to do. Let's hear this person out. You run, and everybody's gonna have a different technique on fighting all these natural instincts. So the next instinct is still, this is kind of parallel, because social default is part of the press secretary, but this is kind of going to another branch of the social default. So let's go for this.
The social default inspires conformity. It coaxes us to fall in line with an idea or behavior simply because other people do.
So real quick, freeze. If we didn't do this, we wouldn't be alive. We can't beat other animals without this. We wouldn't have outlived other human species. Yeah, there's no possible way. What makes the human being the most powerful of all the animals is this here. This is natural for you. So sometimes it just is what it is. That's why you in a concert and everybody's grooving, you grooving, and you don't even like the song. What the fuck am I grooving to? You wave and you realize, I don't give a fuck about this baseball team. I'm just trying to get this girl right here. right? There's so many things you don't realize you do. The outfits you wear right now, if I came to you, be like, yo, that shit is wild what you got on. And if everybody in this room laughed, you probably never wear that outfit again to this class. Because that's just who we are as animals. We're always looking for the group to give us, acknowledge us. So this is important. But once again, you have to learn how to fight your defaults. Next.
It embodies what the term social pressure refers to: wanting to belong to the crowd, fear of being an outsider, fear of being scorned, fear of disappointing other people.
Do you realize that I would argue, this is one of my arguments I'm having with the universities. This is my greatest fear for generations of social media. You guys know what social proof is? Social proof is when if you go to you drive down the street and there's a club hopping and there's a long line outside. Your brain goes, oh shit, that's where the party's at. You pull your car over, you got social proofed in because everybody else doing it. That social default kicks in. Your brain goes, I didn't get in that line. That's where the party's at. Or you drive down by, you're like, I'm in a new city. I'm hungry. I want to get some food. And if the lights are on and more people are sitting down that you can familiarly recognize, you're like, we're going there. You'll be social proofed into that restaurant. Do you realize that this new generation education is social proofing in? A lot of their beliefs is social proofed in. They go online and the popular opinion says this is what we're doing. Now the popular opinion can only be 100,000 people. And in a world of 8 billion people, that's not even 0.01%, right? But 100,000 people can say we're doing this, and it's the dumbest idea in the world. And guess what the young people are doing? It's happening so fast that their education and their wisdom is being. It used to be a time that you went to school or you went to church to get the bulk of your knowledge, and then you sat amongst your friends, you went back and forth and talked about it. Also, you got chances, if somebody says, I believe I can do this and be successful, you get a chance to watch and be like, that shit didn't work, huh? You be like, nah. But if you're on social media and I say, I can do this to be successful, and then I just keep creating video clips, and then other people go like, yeah, we did it too. That dumbass idea is social proofed in. So right now, education is battling young people. Wisdom is being social proofed in, not being passed down through the ages by knowledge and wisdom, which that was a form of social proof before social media. Social media has hacked our learning system by social proofing in our knowledge, even if the knowledge is just absolutely ignorant as fuck. So you said the kid going, wait, that's logical to you? Yeah, because it's got social proofed in. Because remember, teenagers by default listen to their peers sometimes more, and most times more than they listen to their own parents. But if their peers is through a screen that's being edited and controlled, think about the distortion. Insane, right? So some of y'all running around here with this is the way the world should be, and don't realize you got social proofed in. You never thought that shit out for yourself. You just say, yeah, that's what everybody says. As a black person, that's what we believe we need. Okay, why do we need that, partner? Mm-hmm. You may have given you some shit you asked for, then when you got, you're like, fuck, I don't want this shit. I know what the fuck I was asking for. Keep going. Next slide. Next slide, yeah.
Our desire to fit in with the group comes from our history. Group interests were well served from a high level of conformity.
So when you conform from a group, because you got to see the positive side. A lot of times we talk about something, you should always say, but when does it work, when does it does not work? That's strategy. Strategy is not like, this is bad, this is good. You're back to being binary. When is it good? Well, there's certain times when, okay, so this also means when I tell you guys build relationships because you grow your business, that's your good standing with the group, right? That's how you build relationships, right? So it does have its space where it does work. To say it doesn't work is just insane, right? Keep going.
But so too were our individual interests.
Mm-hmm.
Survival inside the tribe was hard, but survival outside the tribe was impossible.
So back in the days, the way a tribe would kill you, they would just kick you out the group. You'll die. We didn't have that many people on Earth. If I kicked you out, you go into the wilderness, you starve to death, you die. The group is how we stayed alive, right? That's how we survive. Even to this day, whether you know or not, you survive. Okay. If you live in a city, you live in a residence. This is why, okay, crazy shit in the world. Men and women ain't shit. Stupid asses. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. You live in a world that is evidence of men and women. Everything is evidence of men and women. You ever drive down the street and got in a car, got some gas? Okay. There are certain groups that drive certain innovations. You ever went to school before? You ever went to a hospital before? There's certain groups that have drove those innovations. Yeah, you might see a little bit more diversity in that, but if crime happens on your block right now, you're going to either need men or women who know how to do some man shit to stop that crime. Right? When it comes time to raise the population, man, you can fart all you want. We ain't produce no kids. Right? The first teacher of most kids are who? Mothers. You fuck up the women mind, guess what you do to the next generation of people? Fuck up their minds. So the removal of this idea that, groups don't matter. No, all this shit matters. Our interconnection, all this idea of like, once you understand systems, you can't pull us apart. You really can't pull us apart. Matter of fact, you want to be cold about it? In America, you can't pull black people away from white people. I know that shit hurts. I mean, sometimes that makes my stomach hurt. But you can't. If white people fall, woo, it's going to be some hard times. If white people go over and fuck around and make China mad, and somehow China had hella weapons that America didn't know about, and Russia's like, I join you, and in England like, fuck it, if you don't fuck with us, I'll join you too. I understand how you feel about your rights. Shit over. If you lived in Ukraine right now and you was pro-black, you are at war, and you ain't got shit to do with you. So there's an interconnection that you got to always be honest about so you can understand where you need to show up and where your responsibilities lie in society. So there's no such thing. So the individualism, you have to always balance. There's a balance between the individualism and the group, and you have to always see that balance. Go ahead.
Because we needed the group, our individual interests became secondary to the group interests.
That's normal. Okay, go ahead.
Though the world we live in today is very different from the one we evolved from, we still look to others for cues on how to behave.
There you go. So even your behavior, what is right versus wrong, is based upon the group. It's not based upon, trust me, right versus wrong can be all over the place. There are certain cultures where people rape each other and it's considered right. There's some shit, y'all. If you look at human history, because like you guys are so in a bubble in America, look around the world, you'd be like, that's right for y'all? That's wrong for y'all? Like once you expose yourself to human evolution, human history, human culture, you realize our brains can wire itself to whatever's necessary to fit the story that's necessary for our survival. Next slide.
The social rewards for going with the crowd are felt long before the benefits of going against it are gained.
Say that again. That's such a powerful ass phrase. Go ahead.
The social rewards for going with the crowd are felt long before the benefits of going against it are gained.
This is a blow to individualism. Once again, there's a balance between individualism and group. But a lot of times you can get away with, I don't give a fuck about nobody. It's all about me. I'm out here trying to survive. You may actually last with that for a few years until the crisis shows up. You guys ever been in a neighborhood where it's a crisis hit, like maybe all the power went out or maybe something happened in the city and all of a sudden you realize the importance of your neighbors? Before then, you didn't give a fuck. You ever been robbed and realized if your neighbors gave a fuck, you probably wouldn't have got robbed? Like there's so many different things you don't realize. Do you realize that like your children, when you have children, you realize the importance of neighbors. See, when you don't have children, you ain't even profile nobody. All of a sudden you can almost see the molesters. Don't go around Mr. Johnny. You know, or let's say that day that something happened, crisis happened, and you got to take your other kid to the hospital and have to ask Miss Lisa next door to watch your children. You realize it's important to build those relationships, right? Going against it, it's one of those things where if you don't make the investment in the group, don't be surprised when it comes time when you need something, the group's not there for you. Y'all so in survivor mode, do for myself. You go back to the original slide. I'm so trying to take care of myself that I wonder why when I go through crisis, I fall another level. The reason I'm falling another level, because I'm too into me. Being a part of a group should be full of sacrifices and struggles and pain and friction. You don't get to be, the group is not meant for your comfort. The group is meant for your long-term support. But if you're constantly using the group for comfort, you're not gaining the benefits of the group. You're actually exploiting the group. So the group doesn't give a fuck about you at the time. The group's going to underinvest in you because you underinvest in it. What you want from the group comes from what you invest in the group. It's that simple. But when you're in survivor mode, you don't know that's a thing. You think, I got to take care of me, I got to be me. And so many times you cheat the group for yourself, not realizing that that's why you're fucking struggling in life, because you keep cheating all the groups. Now you got to decide which group you're going to invest in, because now in today's society, you got hella groups. If I invest in everybody, I'm going to be broke as fuck. Let's everybody you get a penny, you get a penny. But groups are expensive. But once you say, this is my group, understand this. I want y'all to hear me clearly. At home, please hear me clearly. Once you say, this is my group, you say, this is my investment. That's it. That's in the conversation. No, that group, every group's going to cost you something. But you're also going to be eating off that group. You're going to be benefiting from that group. You're going to be surviving from that group. You're going to be saved by that group. But no, that group costs. You don't get to be a part of a group. If you say I'm part of a group, just know you taking on responsibilities, you're taking on costs, you're taking on discomforts, you're taking on sacrifices, and so forth and so on. In some cases, you're taking on death. Men who fought in the wars, they joined the group and they died for that group. So this group could be here today. If every man says, I ain't dying for nobody, we all die.
That's real.
Ain't that some cold shit?
Real.
Some of y'all been so fucked up. Like your world's been this narrow. It's like if I don't eat, if I don't take care, if I don't live, if I don't survive, and you don't realize that's why the group don't see you either. You've been walking around like this the whole time to the point you turned yourself fucking invisible to the group. How do you raise your value to the group? What do you invest in that group? If you want that group to treat you, if you want VIP treatment from a particular group, that means you're making high level investments in that group. But if you want VIP benefits from the group, but you over there trying to do the budget investments, man, get the fuck out of my face with these conversations. Next slide.
One measure of a person is the degree to which they'll do the right thing when it goes against the popular belief.
Ooh, okay. Okay. This could have been on the course list earlier. Read that phrase one more time. I want y'all to just zone in on what this is. Say it again.
One measure of a person is the degree to which they'll do the right thing when it goes against the popular belief.
Remember I told you that story about the time I'm broke as fuck. I'm broke like broke. I'm talking about that kind of broke that my bank account is just an app on my phone. And I'm spending $20 a week at discount grocery to eat. I ain't never ate so many Cornish game hens and potatoes in my motherfucking life. Eggs, Cornish game hen, and potato. I made that shit work. Seasonings, you can just make that shit taste different every time. Sometimes you put more hen, more eggs, or more potatoes. Whatever you gotta do to stay alive. So I'm eating poorest quality food, and I'm paying my utilities bills. I'm negotiating. Let me get you next month. Let me get you a little bit on this month. I'll put a little bit down on this. We can all work together. Now let's not get sensitive, right? You shouldn't gave me no energy. That's a poverty shit. You should have gave me no power. right? My internet is damn near dial up because I ain't got no money like that. And I do a job for a client, and there's some miscommunication. Client says, I want my money back. So scarcity is talking to my head. Man, that motherfucker don't understand you. He don't. Man, that's hard on this motherfucker. I barely got any motherfucker. I don't need to give you your money back. Man, fuck, you got me fucked up. But the strength in me said, okay, I'll write you your check back. Man, anything else I can do for you? My head is going crazy. In my brain like, don't be no bitch ass dude. Tell that motherfucker what you got. Man, hit that motherfucker in the mouth. Get your money. But the strength in me said, nah, here's your money back. That motherfucker brought me more money after that experience than ever before. I was able to operate on taught behavior, taught integrity, taught standards, taught beliefs, taught values, even when I didn't believe in it because I knew it was right. I just knew I couldn't I didn't feel it. I didn't need to feel it. Mm-hmm. So I say, fuck your feelings all the time. Because if you keep relying upon your feelings, it's gonna keep you aligned to where you are, which means that you're gonna keep shrinking yourself back to where you are, even though you put all this effort in. I had to tell myself, fuck my feelings and do what I know I'm supposed to do here. Shit, it was never easy. So I gave people back their money. And when I'm laying on my motherfucking couch, hear me real quick. I'm laying on my couch. I'm broke as a joke. My mother-in-law was doing my taxes. She said, why is all these payments for $20 at the gas station? I said, because if I fill up the tank and this motherfucker break down, that's $20 I don't have in my pocket. So I'm gonna just put $20, which is a quarter tank every time. And then when that runs out, I put another $20 in. Because if the car break down, at least I have the money to catch the bus. That's how broke I am. I'm negotiating gas with bus. This is a real story. I'm so motherfucking broke that I'm on a couch sometimes balling up. Like at the end of the day, I'm busting my ass. I'm trying to figure it out. And I get home and I'm like, I gotta just sit there and let the pain calm down from being so fucking broke. I'm like, fuck, this shit is rough. My brother because you can build brothers and sisters in the community. That's another thing, one of these days I'll share with y'all. But this was a brother of mine. He calls me up, he says, hey man, I heard you're broke. I said, yeah, man, shit, broke as fuck. He says, yo, man, look, man, I'm gonna head over there and bring you about $1,500, help you out. I said, hold on, partner, don't do that shit. I'm starving, bro. I said, don't do that shit. What? Because you know I'm rational. What the fuck is wrong with you? I said, because I gotta figure out why I'm here. And if you give me $1,500, I'm gonna come back here again tomorrow. This pain I'm going through is necessary so I can figure the fuck it is, because I don't plan on ever come back here ever again. The stronger version of me told that man no to $1,500 when I'm starving, people. I wanted to grow. I don't want to be here and just keep getting satisfied and get pleasure and get the moment and getting satisfied in the moment. But tomorrow I'm still here. I knew that my ego was stopping me from seeing something, and starvation and hunger and hard times was gonna make me wake the fuck up. So then when I get here, now that I got strong money and I meet somebody going, oh man, I'm going through something. I'm like, yo, stay right there. Don't let nobody help your ass. Trust me. I know what I'm saying is crazy, but trust me. Because until you break that fucking story that you're telling yourself, you're going to be here again tomorrow. If you change a player on a team, they still the motherfucking Raiders. You got to understand that there's something in your system and structure and ecosystem that's caused you to constantly show up in that same space. You shouldn't have been there anyway. If you're there, that means it's something it can be something that sounds so nice, like, you know what, every morning I have to get up and just look for butterflies. Yeah, but that's 4 hours, motherfucker. It sounded good when you said butterflies and just looking for butterflies. It sounded like, that's just so innocent, not realizing when you get to the weeds, you realize, no, you are mismanaging your time because you really use the butterflies to escape dealing with some other shit because you're scared, bro. This shit is real. Roll it.
However, it is easy to overestimate our willingness to diverge from the crowd and underestimate our biological instinct to fit in.
I'm 22. I just turned pro-black. I was raised Christian, Kojic, Church of God in Christ. Studying to be a minister. Teaching some Sundays. Deacon. Yeah, no, that was a deacon. Ain't that some shit? Pastor Chris, I don't want to hear no jokes. Let it go.
Ooh, if tomorrow...
And tell Pastor Chris, if he get there, just cancel him. so I started to be a deacon. I become pro-black. I walk away from Christianity, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Do you know what that feels like at the age of 22? I walked away from the herd. It felt like I jumped off a cliff and I'm falling and I don't know where the ground is at. All the things that gave me identity, I walked away from it. But you know what that did for me? Now, mind you, I still believe in the Bible. I just don't really rock with Christianity very strong. Either my daughter's begging me to take her to a church, so Pastor Chris, I better probably be there soon with my daughter, because she keeps telling me, like, when we going to a church, Daddy? You're 5, and why you talk to me like so country? Anyway, so Pastor Chris, I'll probably be coming through soon. Anyway, walking away from that was the best thing I've ever done in my life, because it taught me to walk a different path than everybody else. If I stayed on the path the addiction of plugging in and doing what everybody else is doing would have meant that I would either been a dope dealer, pimp, or dead. Because that's what everybody was doing. I would have been smoking, drinking, something. I never had compounded poor decisions, or I just had a job at PGD working hella hard, riding Harleys with wrinkled ass skin. Right? Why the fuck that didn't happen? I walked away. Do you realize that when I first started 510 Media, the cast I started with this group called 510 Photography, and it was 4 cats. One of them used to come to class, Earl. I love that cat. I love them all. And I remember when the cat says, you know, black people don't build businesses like you're building, Nana. You know what my response was? Do not project your limitations on me, partner. That's your limitations. The car person says, I had a high school degree talking about I'm going to start an agency. Everybody look at me like, dude, what the fuck why don't you do a barbershop or some shit? Start a club or some shit. Do some other shit, because ain't no black folks doing that kind of shit. Partner, do not project. The crowd was not riding with me when I started 510 Media. If you don't believe me, look how many 510 Medias there are in the Bay Area, in California. Ain't a lot of us. Matter of fact, we're less than 2% of the whole fucking marketing industry. Because that's not what black people thought we could do. I walked away from the crowd. Most black people are just trying to live and get by. And I'm over here talking pro-black, wearing dashikis with books in my fucking backpack. We didn't have phones back then. I had books. That's why my shoulders so fucking strong. I'm reading books, going, hey, I'm doing this. My grandparents, I would go to their house and they were like, hey, we got some grass in the back, baby, because I know you ain't gonna eat none of these ribs. And we got some water from the hose up front, because you probably need some shit from the earth, because we eating ribs from this motherfucker. I said, cool, Grandma, tell y'all jokes. I'm good. I don't eat no pork. I'm good. I'm gonna tell the story of my own. This is my story, so y'all get sense of you on. Both of my grandmother and my mother died before 60 of cancer. They did what they wanted to do. Fuck y'all. I want y'all to see this game. I had to walk away from the crowd to even be here today to talk to y'all. You got to know when to say, y'all can do that shit. I'm going over here. Some of y'all can't start your business because you can't walk away from the crowd. Some of y'all can't run your business because you can't walk away from the crowd. Some of you don't have strategy because you can't walk away from the crowd. Some of y'all single with some fucked up people in your life because you can't walk away from the crowd. Is that some cold shit? And yeah, when you walk away, it don't feel all, fluffy and earthly and birds are singing to you. You don't feel like you just jumped off of Dracula's fucking castle and you flying between the crows and about to get bit by some motherfucking bats. That's how this shit feels. It feels like shit. But when you get to the other side and you get that empowerment, so the same people who talk bad about me, I'm talking about a lot of people talk bad when I first started 510 Media. 18 years ago, I was the joke of the town from a lot of people. Matter of fact, I shout out to Dwayne Wiggins. When the first people come to my 510 Media got started in the back of my motherfucking house on 20th and Myrtle. Dwayne Wiggins, you would walk to that gangsta ass neighborhood where we had a dope dealer across the street who got 106 years because he was killing cats. And me and he would argue all the time. Let me say something again. I ain't that motherfucker. I don't know what was wrong with me, my ego. Anyway. Dwayne Wiggins fucked with me because we went to high school. We all knew each other. He's like, yo, I'm going to come through. I'm going to support you, Nana. That was one of my first big clients, was Dwayne Wiggins. But everybody thought I was crazy as fuck. Daryl Robinson from Living Life. Daryl's just as crazy as I am. So he's like, yo, I believe you, youngster. Let's come on over here and fuck with me. Right? But for a long time, I was getting those jokes for starting 510 Media. You about to pay, I think our first rent was like $2,500, $2,300 a month. I had 7 G's. Okay, so when I started 510 Media, I had $7,000 in the bank. It was actually $7,000. I got the lease. I didn't have good credit. I had game. Y'all don't know I got motherfucking game. Hey, my ex-girlfriend, she fucked up my credit. And I'm just trying to build my business right now. I ain't no ex-wife or ex-girlfriend fucking my credit. That was me. So got my spot. I'm keeping the shit 100 because once you get the credit, what you do with it is what matters. Not what, get the credit. I got 7 G's a month. I spent 5 G's on furniture. I got 2 G's for next month's rent. Gotta make the rest. Let's go, baby. I'm going to every party. I'm about to pull some flyers, some brochures. I'm doing everything. Hey, man, listen, man, I saw your flyer, man. That shit weak you got right there, man. You need to go let me fuck with you. You know me, man. We went to Cosmo together. Come on, man. Now, what you doing right now? I'm doing flyers. Hey, girl, you hella fine. You should let me shoot you. Yo, little pretty girls on my camera. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Hey, I'll go on Facebook. Yo, look at this bad. She got shot here. They be like, ooh, can you shoot me like that? This one girl told me on Facebook last week. She said, Nana, you told me you would shoot me because you said you don't shoot anybody under size. You don't shoot anybody over size 5. I said that? She said, yeah, you was just a cold motherfucker back in the days. Hey, I'm just telling y'all, I grew. So I'm doing what I got to do to get the business going. And mind you, it was like that plane. The was 5 years. I'm talking about rent was $2,000 and then my utilities, right? I don't know why this was the case. Every month I made exactly that much and started all from zero. I didn't pay myself that. I think I started paying myself anywhere between $600 to $1,000 a month in the Bay Area. But let me give y'all some game. I positioned myself. Got this cool apartment almost for nothing. If you pay attention, you can finagle some stuff, right? I positioned my whole life where my cost of living was $1,000 a month. So guess what I was able to do? Cover my basics. And through that process, all the people who talked bad about me, attacked me, and insulted me, when I finally went over that 5-year hump, became my greatest fans. Can you walk that 5 years and not be anybody's fan and be the brunt of everybody's jokes?
Maybe only fan.
Josh, you just a brunt of jokes. For no reason, man. But outside of Josh, imagine that 5 years of being told, what the fuck are you doing? That shit's crazy. And yet, those same people, when I started my photography classes, every photographer who talked bad about me told me, why the fuck you taking pictures? You're not even an artist, bro. And that shit you shot last week is trash. And 8 years later, they're in my class. Dig that shit. The same people who told me, who would insult me, I'm talking about talk bad about me, to clients would tell me, yeah, they talking bad about your ass. That's cool. I'm looking up. I don't give a shit if society don't like me. I'm looking up. Remember I used to tell you guys don't look down, because you look down, you're looking at shit that doesn't matter, and that noise will create distortions. Always keep your head up. I kept my head up the whole time and kept building. And if I wasn't getting something, I said, what can I do better? Never, they hating on me. I don't give a fuck if you hate on me all you want. Your hate only works if I let it work. I gotta prove your hate right. Fuck what you say. What the fuck are you? You the same thing. If I told you tomorrow, oh, Yapasua is weak. Yapasua is weak. If he's weak because he chose to be fucking weak, not because I meditated on him being weak. What y'all think y'all genies up in this motherfucker? Keep going.
The social default inspires virtue signaling.
Ooh.
Getting other people to accept or praise your professed beliefs, especially when there is no cost to such signals.
This is one of the most dangers of our time. This happened with Mao, with the Red Movement. It's happening today. Most of these arguments around social justice are no longer have the people in mind. It's the individual fighting for virtue signaling. I'm more virtuous than you. That is a thing for the human group. We love the virtue signal. And matter of fact, most colleges are so stuck in a virtue signaling loop, they can't even see. Look, okay, let's say I'm being black male. I'm a black male. I know a lot of black males are mentally unhealthy. A lot. Not a few, a lot. Right? But we all know, black people, let's keep it real. We can take that same black male, put him among some white women, and he'll be celebrated. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about? Y'all know how he could go even marry him a good old white woman. I just had to say it that way, like a South. He had to go marry him a good old white woman, right? And we all know all the black women like, y'all can have that motherfucker. He ain't shit, right? But for some reason, they will excuse all of his damaged behavior away. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. We also do this to the gay community, to women community, and to any other underserved community, Asian community, Latino community. Because what happens is that we are not trying to help the people that we say we care about. We're really trying to signal our virtue within the group. So we don't even see black people, we don't see gay people, we don't see women, we don't see Latino people, we don't see Asian people because we're too busy trying to virtue signal. Because the more I can say, well, I care about this, then you're like, well, I care about this. Well, shit, I care about this. In the end, no, you don't, because you're going home tonight and eat some motherfucking ramen. If you care, that means a portion of your bank account will say you care. And guess what your bank account says you care about? Netflix, YouTube, your Tesla, Louis Vuitton. I ain't seen you march for Louis. I would love to see a Louis Vuitton march. I might even rob it. Go ahead. Kiss this next slide.
I have a question when you.
Go ahead. We'll hit 2 more slides and then
Okay.
we'll open up to questions. And then I got a closing comment that's going to disrupt a couple of y'all, make y'all uncomfortable. Go ahead.
Okay.
Like I didn't make you uncomfortable already, huh?
Princeton professor Robert George wrote, I sometimes ask students what their position on slavery.
Come on, man, this is hot. Let's do this one time. Start with I sometimes. Come on, do this shit again.
Princeton professor Robert George wrote, I sometimes ask students what their position on slavery would have been had they been white and living in the South before abolition.
Come on, you virtuous motherfucker. Come on, tell me what they say.
Guess what? They all would have been abolitionists.
Yeah, I would have fought against slavery. I would have based to it. Just did not work. You know, at the end of the day, as social justice, I really would have just made sure their spirits would have been served and they would have been righteously valued. But keep going.
They all would have bravely spoken out against slavery and worked tirelessly against it. No, they wouldn't have. They may understandably want to send that signal now.
Now you want to send that
when it's safe to do so. But back then, they would have likely behaved the same most everyone else did at the time.
The group would have overrode your individual current values. This is what's so cold about. Like, think about that slavery. Oh, back in the days, I would. Or if I was in Israel, I would. If I was Hamas, no, the fuck you wouldn't. Get the fuck out of here. Now you see why I don't value this opinion? Because we're under the group illusion. The human beings who are protesting at these colleges are normal human being behavior. That behavior is normal. It's not abnormal. It's normal. But it's not accurate. It's not truthful. Because if you put them in that situation, would they hold the same position? If the person who's protesting for Palestinian was Jewish, lived in Jerusalem, would they feel the same? Let's say for the Jewish person who's against Palestine, he lived amongst Palestinians, would he feel the same? But from over here, if I put you in any one of those states and had you stayed there for the last 7 years and that war went down, would you have the same position you have today? The group would have overshadowed your personal opinion, personal assessment, and your personal awareness. You see where I'm going with this shit? Shit's fire, right? Keep going. Next slide.
The social default makes us fear being snubbed, ridiculed, and treated like an idiot.
So the group can make you feel like an idiot. Keep going.
In most people's minds, this fear of losing social capital outweighs any potential upsides of deviating from the social norm and disposes them to accept it.
Some of y'all cannot leave social media today because of this right here. You have such a hunger for being valued by others, you can't drive your own value. You can't make any decisions. You can't even see what you should. You don't know when to sacrifice, when to shut it down, or when to turn it on. Because you're so addicted to seeking value that you haven't figured out how to build that value in what's in your immediate realm. So you reached out to people who can't see you, judge you, and hold anything against you, and you can just keep painting the picture to make them feel good and then protect what you need to feel. Is that cold? Keep going. Next one. Just real quick. I'm trying to see if we can get to the next one.
Fear holds us back from taking risks and reaching our potential.
Or starting a company. Let's just you. After it says reach our potential, just read next sentence should be or starting your own company. That's it right there. This is why many of y'all can't start your own company right now. Keep going.
No one grows up saying, I want to do the same thing everyone else is doing. And yet there is a comfort to surrounding yourself with people who agree with you or who are doing the same thing you're doing. So while there is sometimes embedded wisdom in the crowd, mistaking the comfort of the collective for evidence that what you're doing is going to lead to better results is the social default's big lie.
So that's what we talked about earlier. How a lot of our people are learning today. A lot of you guys are depressed and committing suicide, not because your brain is in a position or your life is in a position to be depressed or commit suicide. It's how you framing the story based upon your relationship to the group makes you want to commit suicide. Or how you frame the position to the group that makes you depressed. If you change the framing, you'll realize, damn, my life is pretty cool. But when you say my life should be like this because everybody says it should be like this, okay, I would argue that we're free today. Who would argue against me?
You would argue, say that again, you would argue that we're what today? Free.
Like people are free today. Not as free you won't get in a human society, but pretty free. Argue. Go ahead. Pick up the microphone. You got your microphone. Tell me why I'm not right.
Want me to voice my opinion against it?
Yeah, you said you raised your hand. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't think that we're free because we're still dependent upon other people, their structures, and their resources.
No.
So we can't do for ourselves. So I don't think that anybody.
No, but
is free.
freedom means
Can't
that they're
do
taking it away
themselves.
from us. Right? I'm not saying, okay, they set us back. They created a mindset that's causing systemic destruction. They create opposition called systemic racism. But if we were free, would those things still exist? Would those things go away? Do white people have to deal with those things? Yes, the fuck they do. Mm-hmm. If the white boy decides he's gonna mess with this other white boy money, you think he's gonna be like, it's fair, you can have it. You think if Germany come up with a new invention tomorrow, America would be like, no, America's right now is the number one economy in the world. China's not bigger than, China's like, I think 10 trillion behind us. That's how strong fucking America is. Crazy strong. I think it's $22 trillion economy, right? No one's close. No one's close. You think it got there by playing fair? If you get $1 trillion, I think Mexico is either it's $400 billion economy. If certain places in South America decides to threaten this position, you think it's gonna play fair? So then the other side would say what? It's unfair, right? See where I'm going with this? Those things that you're dealing with now, you're gonna always have to deal with. But if you frame them as they shouldn't be, it's part of the game. Competition says that my job is to fuck you up if you come close to my money or buy you up. Competition doesn't say, oh, you close to it? Oh, I'm gonna surrender. Okay, here you go. Go ahead.
Can you explain to me what your definition is of freedom?
Freedom, do you have the ability to start to, okay. To me, freedom is when you are under duress where if you make a move, I kill you. I got you positioned where if you even try to step to the left, I'm going to kill you, right? But if you have the ability to make your choices and build on those choices, you're going to receive opposition. But you're just at the beginning of the freedom game. If you go back to white folks when this country first started, all the shit you're dealing with right now, they did deal with it. You thought the indigenous people had their own jails, military, and cities going to war with American white people. The Anglo-Saxons just happened to win that battle, right? If you're in business tomorrow, could you run your own Google company? Is it possible for a black person to run their own Google company? Is it possible for a black person to be a billionaire in America? Will there be opposition? Okay. Is it possible for a white person to be a billionaire in America? Will there be opposition? If you start reframing this, you realize you're just at the beginning of the game. But if you keep telling yourself you can't because we're trapped in the story of our past, we won't see the opportunities for our future. I'm super pro-black, so stay with me. Being black means that you got to build for what we need to sustain so we can participate in this life game with other human beings. We can be part of strategic decisions. We can control resources, and we can protect ourselves, right? Nobody helps nobody to the top. Nobody coming for you. Nobody's coming for you unless we have a relationship. And they're supposed to exploit you. If I can exploit you, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. It's up to you to outsmart me. Technology and innovation says you can always outsmart me. I'm only on top right now because I've outsmarted everybody else. But as human history will tell you, if you keep living long enough, you realize the person who was on top the day you were born may not be on top by the time you die. Because shit just happened. So if you go back 40 years ago, China was so motherfucking poor that most of the people lived in huts. Go to China today. They had one of the fastest economic growth you've ever seen. What I'm trying to argue with you is that what part of the story do you want to focus on? How it's an unfair advantage? Yes, it is. Did they strip us down and suppress it? Yes, they did. Did they give us the worst education in the world? Yes, they did. But who in the fuck are they? What about us? What are we going to do? Can we provide a better education? Yes, we can. Did you hear stories in the South how black people educated our own to the point that we competed in competitions to whoop those white boys' ass at Harvard? How Howard educational groups were just as strong as Harvard educational groups back in the days? We forgot about those stories? How Morehouse graduated motherfucking Martin Luther King and other tight-ass leaders in our times? Right? I'm saying, like, why do they keep showing you Black Wall Street over and over and over and over and over again? When's the last time America advertised all their losses and continue to run it at every school? If you live in America, you think they never lost a war. Mm-hmm. Vietnam is explained away. Mm-hmm. Well, Vietnam, we just didn't give a fuck. We just, fuck the Vietnam. We just, them motherfuckers too short anyway. I'm out of this motherfucker. Now you got your ass, you got your ass whooped up a little bit. It was costing you too much money. What's a smart war? I bet you if you live in Russia, hey, what happened with y'all in Afghanistan? Oh, man, fuck them motherfuckers. All that oil, it was oily. I had to get up out of there. They're going to explain that shit away. I'm trying to explain y'all, like, once we reframe it, we'll start seeing the play. As long as we tell them the group story, we're never going to see this play. Oh, man, I understand why you didn't work hard last week. You didn't get that job. Because in the day, that white man probably didn't want, no, you didn't study shit last week. You are trash. There's hella books and internet right the fuck there, and you ain't touched that motherfucker. And you want to blame? And here's the thing. In competition, it says, as entrepreneurs, me and Court will tell you, as soon as Court hits a certain size, Adidas is coming for him. As soon as he hits a certain, Nike's going to work to crush him. Ask and one, what happened? Mm-hmm. But ask also, what's the tennis shoes everybody, Noka? What's the
Hoka.
Luke, is it what's it called?
Hoka.
Yeah, Hoka. The new running shoes, right? Hoka. Fastest growing tennis shoe in the United States right now. They figured a way around it. There's going to be another brand in your lifetime before you die. They focus on what they can do, and other brands who didn't succeed, who got whooped, will tell the story of what they couldn't do. But those are the stories of the losers. That's the loser's bias. Go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out how to frame this question. So in previous classes, you had said that one of your purposes was to work because you wanted Black people to be free. And my brain is still stuck on the freedom part because...
You're right. I haven't changed that.
Well, what I'm curious about is what has shifted in...
It hasn't shifted. It hasn't changed. If we don't believe we're free and we're living like we're not free, then we're not free.
So then when you just asked...
So when I teach this class, I try to reshape your mental model and say, hey, you're at the beginning stage of freedom. Freedom is something you have to build. Freedom is something you're entitled to. No animal on this earth gets to live entitled. If you don't wake up and hunt, you don't eat. You don't eat, you don't live.
So
right?
Are you suggesting that we're only free if our mindsets are free?
We're only free when we learn how to live like we're free. Freedom is a lifestyle. It's a mindset, it's a lifestyle. It's what we do every day. But if you live your life, you're just trying to survive, or you live this life like a slave, or you live this life asking white people to help you all the time. And I'm not saying, like, if you're in close proximity to white people, you guys going to exchange resources. You're going to make investments into each other, right? But investments is different than donations. Even in the foundation world, they're starting to talk about the word investing, which just means I'm going to invest in you to have impact in the community, but I need to measure that impact now, right? The story of you owe me because of what you've done to my ancestors, we know what, okay, if I'm helping black people, you need to know that story because it's going to give you insight on why we're doing some things we're doing, right? So you can have the compassion and we're on strategy to solve the problem. Now, when I'm talking to the leaders, this is an entrepreneur class where I'm trying to raise wolves. I'm not trying to raise kittens. I don't give a fuck about you little puppies. This is a wolf class. So as wolves, I'm saying, look at wolves. I understand all the puppies back there think they are all tied up and they ain't gonna never be free. But wolves, we gotta start carving a foundation because they ain't gonna get no better for us. What else can white people do for us? That's sustainable. Not a motherfucking thing. Besides, leave us the fuck alone. James Brown said back in the 60s, I don't need you to open the door. Just let me open the door. What do you say? What's the song? I don't need nobody to open the door. Just get out my so he could do it himself. He wanted to open the door his damn self. Forgot the fucking words, but that's what he was saying. He wanted to open the door himself. In 2024, we're asking white people again to open the door. Are you serious? White people got to feed their own kids. A lot of white people today in America, especially with the population changing, America is not. In 1952, stay with me, people. In 1952, America was either 90-something% white. It's damn near down to 60% now. So our argument is starting to get old based upon all these changing dynamics. One of the number one desires of high school students today is diversity and fair equity of all races. What the fuck more you want? They ain't about to give you their resources because it ain't, okay. They're playing a different game. You come get these resources, but you gotta come get them. But I ain't about to give you $2 trillion because, it was slavery, I should give it back to you. Because even if you give that $2 trillion, it's different if we had an infrastructure, we're building shit, we're working, and then they invest, they over-invest, they get a low return, and then we take that investment and we grow to compete. But when we grow, you do understand once we grow that to the other human being, that's a threat to their race. So what the fuck more you want? At this point, wolves in this class, this ain't for everybody. We got shit to figure out to move the needle forward. Meaning that when you see it, so watch this, stay with me, black folks. When you see black folks doing things you don't agree with, this is when you need to understand the impacts of slavery and have compassion for them, have empathy for them, and see the strategy. There's a group that's spending $1 trillion, their GDP is $1.2 trillion. You don't see no value in them? You wonder why you broke? You don't see value in one of the most valuable people in the world, right? You got to learn to love yourself and not constantly compare yourself to white people and say they're better than you. So you can start to shift your interest towards things that we produce or things that we sign or we create signature. There's a black argument I'm having in here. But to turn to white people and say, where are you, is a wasted conversation. They're not playing a game of how can we make black people feel better. They're playing a game called we have to survive. That's why when the white man said, make America great again, to them they's like, yeah, because we used to be 92%. This shit crazy. So California is 30% Latino. Only 7% black though, that's sad as fuck. Like shit's changing. Two of the richest economies in the United States, or three of the richest economies is California, because it's diversity, New York, diversity, Atlanta. Ain't that cold? Atlanta banging. One of the richest places in the South is Atlanta. Diverse as fuck. So I want to try to explain to you, like, people, the story we keep telling, we need to create a new story that launches us forward, because no matter how mad I am at slavery and I want to fuck them all up, they're all dead already. I already won. Unless I'm just going to start hitting hella bones, it just makes no sense no more. Yet my daughter needs me to lay the ground so East Oakland's no longer East Oakland. And the black folks who are lost in the wilderness, how do I help them find themselves so they can participate in this game and take care of their kids? You guys get where I'm going with this? So it's not saying we're crazy for You need to understand our history and our culture and where we come from to contextually have strategy. But it can't be the limitation of how you move forward. And you got to see for what it is right now. There's nothing left for white folks to do no more. That's it. That's it. If you want, we got to incentivize people to help you. Help. If you want to magnify help, you say, well, let's say you say, I still really need to help us. You got to incentivize it. How do you incentivize it? You got to build some shit to make. Who gets the most money in donations? Places like Harvard. Why? Because they built an institution that says, if I give you money as a human being, I get status. Ain't that some cool shit? So even to get donations, you got to build. If you got a nonprofit and you in a motherfucking closet, you wonder why your nonprofit not making any money? Because you never created no status for the givers. It's some simple shit. That's why churches get more money than motherfuckers who walk around with great virtues. I don't get no status for helping a guy homeless dude in the corner, but I definitely get status for giving $10,000 to Live Memorial. You get where I'm going with this? It's like we got to start looking at like, hey, let's turn that conversation down, understand racism where it's showing up, but also develop smart strategies where racism actually makes us better than white people at the strategy game. Because we can see shit they can't see because of some of the friction we're dealing with. As opposed to, we shouldn't have to deal with this. It is what it is. I'm a hell of a swordsman because I dealt with that. Let me hit y'all with this closing concept. Last week I was talking to somebody on my team and they made reference to my harshness. Made a harsh comment. Not you, Tennille. You're safe for this one. Tennille's working on a new singing career, so just convince her not to leave me. But Tennille be sounding like Erykah Badu and shit. But anyway, point is this. I'm going to say a phrase and see if you can get it. Avoiding negativity is defensive. Avoiding negativity is defensive. Mm-hmm. You say, what? If you're running a company or you're running a team, to avoid negativity is a defensive culture. Yapasua, last week that job you did was trash, man. What the fuck happened? If I can't say Yapasua last week the thing you did was trash, what does that mean? Why don't I want to say it? Because one, I'm trying to defend myself, protect myself. Two, by me not telling him, I don't want to make the place uncomfortable, defense. Now when I'm around here, I got to be superficial. I got to allow this leakage to happen in my company because I won't say anything because I don't want to defend. I don't want to say anything negative. In order for you to have a strong culture, I have to be sometimes show up to negativity and express it. But you also got to have some grit to be on the team. You without grit is a defensive act. Soft motherfuckers are defensive. That's Donna's language. That's, it's in my dictionary. E40 has his dictionary, I got mine. Soft motherfuckers, defensive. When you got a person inside your company that's super soft and they won't, you hurt my feelings. They're creating these gaps in management that has to be uncomfortable to move the whole team forward. So in the end, I end up designing my whole management to make you comfortable and compromise my team. Motherfuckers think that because they think nice and being mean, or nice and being blunt, or nice and being frank, or nice telling you I don't give a fuck, is me reverting back to the old version of me. There's no such thing. It's your perception that me being positive is being offensive, and me being negative is being defensive, when it's actually the opposite way around. Avoiding negativity inside of a company, that's why I fucking hate this modern HR. They're corporate destroyers. Nana, can I talk to you a second? Yeah. Robin came into our office last week, and she said that you made her feel uncomfortable. And I had to write you up because she felt threatened. Mm-hmm. Robin fucks up, okay? She's trash. And I told her 5 or 10 times, Robin, you didn't work last time. But Robin's fucking trash. And finally I had to say, Robin, this work you just did is trash. Your behavior's been trash. And you come in late is trash. Now, one more trash response, I'm going to trash your ass. But, you used the word ass. And I don't think that's appropriate language. No, Robin and you need to get some grit, because this is why I heard somebody say to me the other day, working in the .com environment with .com men, it can be rough for me as a woman. Then get some fucking grit, because that's their strategy is creating friction to produce innovation. And if you can't handle the friction space, because I'm a woman, I feel attacked, you're the defensive problem. Ain't that crazy? Doesn't that sound fucking pretty harsh? You gotta have grit to be part of an innovative team. You gotta have grit to navigate real rich ass competition. Matt, have you guys seen the Wolves play? Minnesota Wolves? Timberwolves? Mm-hmm. Them boys got some motherfucking grit. Y'all see some of the soft teams? Oh, come on, referee, come on. Get your soft ass sit down somewhere. I like that boy, that new boy. What's his one from Timberwolves?
Anthony.
He get a bad call, he keep playing. You watch some of those prima donna teams? Now, before he came along, their center was like that. He's prima donna, right? What's the boy's center name?
Rudy.
Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert.
No, the other one. The one who can shoot the threes.
Oh,
Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, man, y'all seen him? Boy, that boy is by a sister. Man, he act like, man, he's at an earthly convention. He cried so much. Right? They couldn't win with that. They had him and Pat Beverly on the same team. I was like, yeah, y'all ain't gonna never win. Y'all two emotional ass cats. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. Too emotional for me, bro. Winning at a certain level or performing at a certain level, competition changes where you need grit to get through that. That's what Draymond Green talks about that all the time. A lot of teams cannot perform at this highest level. They don't have the grit to get there. That's why Draymond Green's so important. He's the grit of the Warriors, right? Your team has to have a degree of grit. This is why I don't want social justice in my company. If I sense it, I'm stumping it, I'm firing it, I'm going to trip it, I'm going to kick it, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I can. Stab it with a pencil. Because it's poisonous to your company. Because now the team can't have feedback back and forth, because Lisa, who's a trans over there in the corner, doesn't want anybody to speak to her before 10, because in a trans culture, it really offends us. Tell Lisa Nana, say, if she fucking fired, get the fuck up out of here. Any questions before I go home? Shut the fuck up. Sorry, dude. I don't want to offend you. Anyway, anything else? All right, y'all. Let's have a good evening. See y'all next week. Peace.